last night? Tell the viewers. We might have some new ones.
It was a lot of fun
from that appearance, but
I had a good time.
It got contentious.
Yeah,
I heard.
Tim pushed me hard on the issue of why I wasn't sure who I was voting for yet.
The clip is going to be Tim Pool slams Aidan
Tim Pool
Mattis for being a milquetoast fence sitter. You kind of stole his valor as the milquetoast fence sitter on that episode.
My bad.
All right, so I guess without further ado, we're going to be talking today about Cenat's weird playdate with Northwest that was orchestrated by her stage mom, Kim Kardashian. And some things that we didn't get to yesterday. I know this isn't a conspiracy episode, but I really did want to talk about these things. Hollywood humiliation rituals, do they exist? Do they not? Are we seeing evidence of them in recent news? And then the AI cryptid lobe, I was saying it Loab yesterday. I guess I was in the wrong for that. I did want to get into that. And then lastly, we're going to talk about a TikToker who has been terrorizing mainstream celebrities as well as politicians. He's serenading them badly, and now he's using that to launch his own music career. So we're gonna get into all of that. And before we do, I just wanna remind you, you should subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Like the video. If you have not liked the video yet, I am angry at you. I will find you. And also, another thing, any super chats, $20 and over, will be read immediately right in the middle of our discussion. But all super chats will be read regardless. And we're just gonna jump right into it. First off, we didn't talk about Father's Day yesterday because we were in the middle of talking about conspiracies. I just had some wholesome news that I wanted to share from Henry Cavill. He posted a picture of his new child's nursery. Here was his Father's Day caption. He said, "Happy Father's Day to dads out there. Turns out I shall be joining your hallowed ranks soon. Any tips? And don't worry, pillows won't be in the crib when the wee one arrives. Just glue and scalpels so he or she can build Warhammer miniatures."
I love this.
I read it in his British voice, but I wasn't going to try to do the impression.
I mean, not that I could do an impression myself, but I think that that's a quality announcement from the man himself.
One of the comments said all the girls are in shambles right now.
Yeah,
they would have been in shambles anyways. Look, Henry Cavill's a pretty man, so.
Yeah, well, we talked about his pregnancy announcement because he's not engaged to the mother. They're not engaged or married, and we called her his baby mama in the YouTube thumbnail because people were actually calling her mid. They were saying that Henry is out of her league, and I mean, I'm not saying I disagree, but it's rude to point it out. Yeah.
I meant to pull this up, but I did not.
Isn't there like a thing about like there's always a settler in relationships? Like
a settler, a colonialist?
Are you citing How I Met Your Mother right now?
No, I don't think so.
What?
Am I?
That's where I heard it.
So you think Henry Cavill was the one who settled?
There's always someone that reaches, and there's always someone that settles.
Okay.
And I think any successful relationship, you can see that. And this is not meant that people are not meant for each other or that they're not very happy. But when we're talking about looks, right, you're always going to objectively be like, okay, that person's more attractive.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult. Henry Cavill is a very handsome fellow.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of one actually successful marriage where they're both like incredibly beautiful people.
But beauty, like what makes a man attractive to a woman and what makes a woman attractive to a man are
totally different special.
Well, just because
outside view.
So but the point that I'm making is like a man may look out of a woman's league, right? But because he's like really attractive, but maybe he doesn't have very much. Like he's kind of useless, and he's like, you know, she has to kind of like lead him around, like, come on, Huddy. Yeah, like a himbo. Yeah, like you're
a stay-at-home husband.
There you go. Yeah, maybe like that. So like he doesn't have the typical things that a man is considered valuable for. Handy, he's smart, he can solve problems, he's masculine. So
see, women aren't shallow.
No, men are shallow. Men look at women.
Men are the shallow ones when it comes to romantics.
I've heard a lot of people recently claiming otherwise, and I know that women are more shallow today than they used to be.
I think it's that.
But still, by far, I think it's men who care more about appearances.
Generally,
they might be tearing me apart in the chat for saying this, but what are they? It's my take.
No, I fully agree with you.
What are the appearances saying about the woman? Like the appearance of the woman is communicating. It's communicating a lot about her. It's not. She may not be saying these things, but she's communicating to the man, and men can read that and understand that. So he may look at a woman and think, "Oh, she's attractive," but the things that make her attractive are also things that indicate a healthy body that can bear children.
It's fertility, yeah. Even if you're not thinking about it consciously.
Exactly. That's what makes someone typically attractive.
I will say, I remember in high school they had this child development class where you end up like, you basically teaching how to teach kindergartners and read to them and stuff like that. I guess they were trying to promote becoming a teacher, but once like the girls saw how good I was with the kids and how I could actually read a storybook and make the characters come to life, like they started talking to me way more. They started talking to me way more. And it's like, and it's not because my looks changed, but I guess they saw something different, like what Phil's saying.
Yeah. Meanwhile, all of these dudes on Twitter are like, I'm a true alpha because I'm never going to change my child's diaper. No woman wants to be with that. I'm sorry.
Men look for women who can produce and raise a healthy offspring.
Raise is an important part of that.
Women look for men who can provide for that offspring. So that's why the match works. We're complementary sexes.
Right. Yes. Another not so wholesome Father's Day post was from Nicki Minaj, who is a mom herself. She said, "Happy Father's Day, lil N-words. Live it up. Fuck what your baby mama gotta say, homie. Just remember, your sperm did its job. And that's on what? No period."
I actually don't know what you just said.
I gotta give her credit for acknowledging Father's Day and saying something that to her was positive about men. Good on you, Nicki.
I think this is.
If that's the best
I don't
we're
think
gonna
it's
get,
positive about men.
cool.
I think that what she's doing with this post, at least what people speculated, is she is throwing shade at her baby daddy. Because she got married to the father of her child, Kenneth Petty, the registered sex offender. And it looks like they have called it quits, but there's no confirmation one way or the other.
We live in hell.
Yeah, he was this guy, this guy on the sex offender registry. He didn't re-register in California. They put him on house arrest for not re-registering, and everyone found out. And she's defending him. She's defending also her weird brother, who is also an offender against children. So she doesn't have a good track record in that regard. And, she doesn't know how to pick them, apparently. This post seems like it was directed at Kenneth Petty, if I had to guess. And it was very petty, indeed.
Why do I feel like ever since COVID, people think of Nicki Minaj as some kind of philosopher, everything.
What, because of what she said about vaccinations?
I think so. That's what was the first thing I can remember. Because she used to just be like, "Hey, she's a good entertainer. She's a great musical artist."
Cousin in Trinidad's balls.
Exactly. And now suddenly
her
her
cousin in Trinidad's friends.
Oh, thank you.
It's just everyone just analyzes everything she says now, and maybe it's just a sign of the times. Maybe it's just not Nicki. But I don't remember her she used to just be rapper, pretty girl Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Now she's just like, oh,
and it was okay
what she had to say
be
now?
that.
Yeah.
We're okay with you just being superficial,
and she was cool,
being an entertainer.
She did a song with The Lonely Island. That was funny. She was
Her
cool.
music's fun.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj is fun music.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't really listen to her recent stuff. But.
No, you want to know how fun Nicki Minaj's music is? Is that in 2011, when Super Bass it was the song of the summer. It was
Super
September
Bass.
2011. I was driving to get pizza with my cousins, and I think I was 12 at the time.
You weren't
Super
driving.
Bass, no, I was not. Super Bass came on, and we're like, oh, we're having a good time. We're singing along to it in the car. We had just come from my grandmother's wake.
Oh.
That's how fun Nicki Minaj is. It was able to lift up a car full of teenagers who just were at their grandmother's wake to the point where they were in a good mood again.
Yeah.
And
that's powerful.
Yep.
Exactly.
I love
April 5th, 2011.
The one with Justin Bieber, The Beauty and a Beat.
I don't think I ever listened to that.
That was a really good
song.
music video. What happened to happy music and love songs and stuff
Now
like
she's
that?
become
I blame Halsey.
We don't really have those anymore.
She's become such a sex icon now. She's it's weird. Now she's
her
with
music
Ice
was
Spice.
always very sexual. It's a female rapper.
Now she
rappers
seems
in general.
one-dimensional. Now she seems one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Right? Before, yes, obviously she was a beautiful woman, but now it seems like that's all her music is. And I could be wrong. I'm not the biggest Nicki Minaj. I'm not really a Nicki Minaj fan. I'm not listening to her music. It's not that I have anything against her, but she's not on my playlists. I'm sorry. But from what I see in social
the
media,
Barbs are gonna come for you.
I know. It's better than the Swifties, I guess.
Yeah.
But from what I see on social media, yeah, that's like seems like she's becoming one-dimensional, or maybe it's just like this hypersexualized
She's trying to be a
society.
shock. Speaking of things being over-sexualized, there's a new statement from Armie Hammer about the Cannibal allegations.
How does that? Okay, I'm just go ahead.
I don't even know why he decided to speak on this, but here's what he said about the cannibalism allegations against him. People called me a cannibal and everyone believed them. They're like, yep, that guy ate people. Like, what? What are you talking about? Do you know what you have to do to be a cannibal? You have to eat people. How am I going to be a cannibal? It was bizarre.
That is such a
Spoken
weird
like
statement.
a true cannibal. No, I don't think he's a cannibal, but
yeah, but like the
that
thing
would
is,
be what a cannibal said.
After reading that, I'm more inclined to believe he is a cannibal.
Like, why do I picture him giggling and chuckling?
Yeah,
like having a whole.
I can see him sitting there with like Reza Aslan on that island, being like, "Oh, no,
Maybe.
I would
I
never eat a
only
person."
texted a bunch of women that I wanted to eat their bodies. Why do people think I'm a cannibal? That's
maybe
ridiculous.
Joe Biden, you know, he's got his broken brain going on. So maybe he was trying to like alert the world of Armie Hammer being a cannibal, and it was really my uncle who's passed away. He just got two stories mixed together.
Wait, you mean barbecue?
No. Phil, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I mean, I know this.
Yeah, Joe Biden was like my uncle. Is his uncle, right? Something like that.
I don't know.
Apparently, his uncle was eaten by cannibals.
What?
Yeah.
That sounds fake.
And Corn Pop was among the cannibals.
You know what? Armie
some
Hammer
kind
has
of-
connections with barbecue. I bet.
I wonder how barbecue's doing.
Do you really?
I mean, no one's really talking about him. Like, is he still?
Well, no one was talking about Armie Hammer until he
What?
brought this up again. And it's like, you know, I feel like everyone saw all those text messages where he's telling women like, I want to barbecue your ribs and like eat them with barbecue sauce. And I want to like grab your heart and control when it beats. And then everyone got really hyperfixated on those text messages, not realizing that the allegations against him were way more serious than that went way far beyond that. So now he's just discrediting the part that sounds ridiculous.
Not to kink shame, but you should be ashamed of that.
Oh yeah, I mean, some desires should be suppressed.
See, here's the problem. He's telling this
Yes.
to multiple women when he should just like. It's like they're like, listen, this
When
is
he
what you
should just
say.
be eating one.
Exactly. It's like I know
Yeah.
you said this to all the other girls, right? I know you don't actually want to eat my ribs. This is just your line, Armie.
Well, there was
That's
this
the
girl
issue.
who
That's
went
the
on a
real issue.
podcast after he had the Me Too allegations, and she said, I hooked up with, or I was like his fling. I was Armie Hammer's fling after he was Me Too'd. And she like said, yeah, I fully ignored all the red flags. He was really into biting me until I was like, can you stop?
Little nibble's fine.
And it's like, what did you exactly expect? What did you expect from the guy who openly said that he wants to eat
Did you
people?
hear Glenn Powell's recent story?
No.
So he just went on a podcast maybe a couple weeks ago.
Wait, no, we showed this on the show. Yeah.
And
yeah.
his sister, like,
No, this is
good
totally
friend,
fake.
You think?
He claimed his sister's friend went to a guy's apartment. He started massaging her, and then later her skin started burning. She went to a dermatologist, and they were like, oh, this is black market lotion used by cannibals to break down human skin for consumption. And it just sounds like an old wives' tale.
Well,
I don't think
it
it's
just doesn't
real.
make sense. Like, what? That's not how you cook things. You don't need.
That's tenderizing the meat. That's
That-
what it was
You
doing.
don't do that while the animal is living.
Tell that to Japan.
I will.
Maybe
Japan
he
has
likes
a lot of
them
problems.
to suffer. I don't.
That's why, like Wagyu beef, like those cows, like they are very lazy cows.
But
And that's why
that's-
the meat is so tender.
That's different from rubbing lotion on the meat while it's alive.
Maybe she was stressed and tense, but you think that story's fake?
It sounds a little too Hannibal Lecter to me.
Yeah.
But who do you think Glenn Powell's lying, or do you think the sisters?
Because if you said it's your sister's
Who's lying?
friend, or you said it's your cousin's from
Plausible
Trinidad's friend's balls, I get a little bit disconnected
Plausible
from what you're telling me.
deniability, maybe.
Well, and that's the thing.
Phil,
You
you
tell
okay?
you tell somebody something like, somebody was rubbing cannibal lotion on my friend's sister's balls. Like that's gonna confuse. That's there's something.
The story's just getting more and more
See
convoluted.
what I mean? Like it starts with something that actually happened. Like he rubbed lotion on her and it burned, and then it goes and becomes that.
cannibal stories like risen in recent years?
Sorry.
Like,
my bad.
Like
that's like me, Mr. Ball, and Wendigoon kind of been pushing that on YouTube. It's kind of
You think?
Is it?
Well, there have been more movies that focus on it, like Bones and All with Timothée Chalamet.
Yellow Jackets. I keep telling Mary to watch Yellow Jackets.
I
that
can't-
one's all about cannibalism.
I can't say it's like
Predictive programming.
it's not definitely our fault, but like the algorithm is rewarding it, so
What you gonna do?
Yeah, like
Shock content.
Yeah. So
also just really quickly, I looked up the cannibal thing, the barbecue thing, because you guys were like, "What do you think barbecue's up to?"
Well, yeah.
And the first article that comes up is Elon Musk smears Haitian migrants with cannibal claims amid crisis.
So it's not true anymore.
And I'm like, well, no. Like barbecue was in fact a cannibal.
that's true.
That's a true thing.
But not anymore?
I think it's
article?
He
I don't know.
changed
I
his
didn't look
ways.
at the article yet. I'm just reading the headline. I'm like, wait, what are you talking
I've
about?
heard from like other like sources that this was just like a fear tactic, right? And
Yeah.
he just went to the extreme level that he's not like it's not something he enjoys. Maybe
No.
you got to enjoy it if you are a cannibal. But what I'm saying is,
Tim
they're
Pool
saying
cited.
The
that he,
reluctant cannibal.
they're saying that he did cool off now that he's in control of Haiti.
Okay,
like-
so this is what's going to happen with the goblins in Zimbabwe.
Yeah,
They're going to
Zimbabweans.
disappear once they've got control.
Right.
You know what we should do is we should send barbecue to
The
Zimbabwe
goblins. Yes.
to handle the goblin situation.
Fight fire with fire.
He can gobble them.
That's true.
Gobble
I
the
want to see that
goblins.
happen.
Goblin gobbler.
I also wanted to show this resurfaced clip of Lil Baby getting pulled over, and he tells the cop that,
This is actually
he's like, "Do you know who I am? Like, I'm a celebrity."
That's not just the funny part though. Like it's funny that he does that. He's like, give my ticket, like, let me give me.
It was for having tinted windows,
Yeah, he's like,
of all
"Man,
things. Okay,
It's good. I don't hate it.
let's take a look.
Man, you know why I pull you over? These windows, they tinted. You can't see nothing
I'm a
out.
celebrity, man. Nobody can't see me. Give me my ticket. Let me ride.
I don't know what celebrity you
It
are.
don't matter. They give me my ticket. Let me ride. I can't have nobody seeing me right here. I'm gonna let my window
That's
up.
fair.
Oh yeah, you good, but you can't have that tinted.
Not gonna lie, I would not recognize Lil Baby on
No.
the street. I would not.
No, but I mean, look, I don't know.
He's like a
I don't know
hometown hero.
Is he
Hey,
like,
now,
is he
who are
like a
you?
gangster kind of
You
dude?
said
Did
you,
he
my
come
name
from the
is Baby.
gangster?
Maybe.
Because if he's, I mean, look, man, if you did and you're like, I don't want people to see me, there's a reason because he's gonna get
Gotta
shot.
have tickets.
That's what. I mean, it's possible.
I take a ticket, then somebody follow me
You
home.
can put a 32.
Huh?
You can put a 32. If you got a medical exception, you can get the tint. If you got a multi-passenger
You
vehicle,
need a medical exemption to have tinted windows?
How about my complexion? Does that count?
Being Irish.
You want positive? It's probably getting confusing for people. It's getting confusing for me. But like,
I
no,
mean, it's the point is
yeah.
made. Yeah.
But I think the tint thing for like medical reasons is maybe you like have UV sensitivity.
people are
So-
allergic to the sun.
No, it's
There are people who are
just so that-
allergic to UV
We
radiation.
Irish
literally-
should have a medical exemption.
I agree.
But the
Yeah.
reason that there's a medical exemption or at all is so that way the state can say, okay, this is a reason for you to have it. It's all it is. It's so
Yeah.
so we can
Yeah.
do special favors for people that we think are special.
I
That's it.
did get into
Yeah.
a lift on the way home from the airport last week, and the windows were like super tinted. And I was like, I don't want to get into this car.
But you did.
Dude, with this heat we're
Because
having
I
right now,
listen, I had slept so poorly the night before. I'd landed in San Antonio at 12:17 in the afternoon on Wednesday last week, and then I landed in Philadelphia at 1:07 p.m. the next day. Like I was in San Antonio for 25 hours.
You're well rested right now, fortunately.
Yeah.
They
That's
need-
rare, right?
Yeah.
you know the transition lenses. They need to put those on car windows.
Oh my
'cause
gosh, every dork had those transition lenses.
Hey,
in
my
school.
dad had transition lenses.
They existed back then?
Yeah.
I thought they were invented in like the 2000s.
No, they've been around for a while.
Okay.
I think they've gotten cheaper.
But
as
the
time
kids,
gone
I
on.
just know the kids who had those at my school were
Yeah.
bullied so hard.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like sunglasses and it doesn't look like glasses.
Well, that's the thing. Make a cool pair of sunglasses that are also prescription. Like that's. But anyway, like I think the danger is like, oh, at nighttime your tints are too dark, so that's the reason for
Yeah.
outlawing them,
Okay.
right? At nighttime it's too dark, you can't see. It's a safety issue.
No, they kind of is the opposite effect. Like if you turn the lights on inside your car and it's dark out, you can see through tint. You can see much easier if there's light inside.
Interesting.
But if you have tinted windows, the reflection in the sun outside is reflected off the tint. But if you have light inside, the light from the inside goes through.
Well,
the
there's
tint 'cause
different kinds of tints. Some do shine, some kind of.
Okay,
just
we're getting
absorb.
way too into the weeds about window tints. But anyway, another celebrity who was recently pulled over is Justin Timberlake
Oh, boy.
for a DWI. And he refused a breathalyzer test from presumably a Gen Z cop who had no idea who he was, which is really tough. Like, that's just brutal, right?
At some point,
you're like, do you know who I am? And the Zoomer cop is like, no. He's like the Chad Means.
Hasn't
like,
he done like only Disney stuff for like the past decade though? Like his face has been out of the.
Well, he's been
What Disney stuff has he
touring.
done?
He's been touring again, and he's been like
Oh,
doing the NSYNC reunion stuff,
yeah.
and like he's trying to put out new music and reinvent his career.
Right.
What
now.
Disney stuff are you? I didn't know he was in anything Disney.
Timberlake?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
the Mickey Mouse Club.
You know, what is that?
A long time ago.
Long time ago,
That was when
Britney?
it was in the 90s. It was like Ryan Gosling, Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake.
Other than that, I don't know if he's been involved with Disney.
He
at all.
did a movie like 15 years ago, In Time. Remember that one?
That was a terrible movie.
I like
he was
that
doing some kind of, maybe it's not Disney, but he was doing some kind of soundtrack work.
Okay.
And I want to say.
Oh no, he was on
maybe.
Trolls. He's one of the voice actors
Okay,
on
so
Trolls.
so voice actor. So
Okay.
Kids
was-
love that shit.
Yeah, that's what it was. So
but
he's
still,
not,
his face is
isn't
not out there.
Exactly, that was the point.
And this young cop had no idea who he was. He refused to take a breathalyzer test when
I
police
love that
pulled him
face.
over.
I love
And this
the
was just
still
last
that they
night.
use.
He looks like a bird in that picture, at least.
But I'm just picturing the cop being like, "Hey, can you take a breathalyzer?" And that's the face they give him.
Yeah.
Or that he gives the police.
He was out
It's
at
hilarious
dinner
to
with a
me.
bunch of friends. There were cops stationed outside where he was having dinner, which is weird. Then the cops pulled out and pulled him over for a traffic violation, and his friends came out of the hotel to tell the police to let him go, which, like, stay out of it.
I
hate
almost
that.
I almost wonder if this is like an attempt to get back into the media so that people will be like, oh, what's he been up to? And then go listen to his new album because it seems like it's not doing well.
Page
Maybe.
6 was told the cop pulled Timberlake over and was so young that he didn't even know who he was. He's a 10-time Grammy winner.
I will
You
say-
Zoomer, you're actually swine, uncultured swine.
Dude, I saw one of my cousins the other day who I haven't seen in a few years, and he had a different haircut, and it took me a second to recognize him. So, like, I kind of get it.
I'm more surprised that this cop didn't know his name. Everyone knows the name Justin Timberlake. At
Yeah,
least.
if somebody says I'm
Oh,
Justin
interesting.
Timberlake or that's
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake, yeah, but
But he was driving while
Who is
drunk,
that?
presumably, and didn't stop at a stop sign. He was swerving between lanes. Not good.
well, if the Zoomers don't know about Justin Timberlake, does that mean that Sexy is once again gone? And is it time for
It
him to bring
needs
it
to
back?
come back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is
But
he the one to bring
who's
it
gonna
back?
bring it back? It's not Justin Timberlake.
It could be.
Who's gonna bring it back? Do we even have a Justin Timberlake?
Jojo Siwa.
No,
I don't think we do
no.
currently have like a
not that
male,
penne noodle.
Do we have a male like pop superstar right now at all?
Harry Styles.
Ew, no.
That's who it is.
Once
though.
again,
That's
do we
who's
have a
filling that
male-
role.
He's definitely
do-
not gonna bring Sexy
Kellen,
back.
do we have a male?
Oh,
Sorry, do we have a man?
an
I guess I should say?
American.
I thought after
American
Justin
male.
Bieber, there is never going to be another white, straight male
Yeah.
pop star, like, at all.
Yeah,
Or,
like-
or boy band, really. I think that K-pop has totally replaced that.
Sam Smith was big, and then we all know how that went. And now
Well,
Harry
that's what
Styles
they
is.
keep- that's
It's these British dudes.
It keeps happening.
It's these British
What
dudes.
is going on?
Well, they're taking over again.
Is there anyone else? Like,
And I want to be clear, by the way, that I'm not trying to make fun of people who are like playing around with, different styles of dress and everything. It's like, I mean, just pop stars who are men, like masculine men. We
Like the
had
boy band aesthetic, I
Yeah.
guess.
not even masculine. Because Justin Bieber, he wasn't known for being particularly masculine,
But he
but he
also wasn't,
appealed
like-
to women.
But he wasn't like he wasn't effeminate.
But like Harry Styles, he appeals
So-
to women,
so-
but in
yeah.
a totally different way.
I don't
in
even
that
think-
bisexual kind
Yeah.
of way.
I think this is honestly more evidence of, the internet destroying the music video star. Video killed the radio star, and now the internet's killed that star. Because now you're not subjected to whoever MTV dubs the sexy guy. Now you can go on their Instagram and you can find who you're into. So there is no de facto, the guy right now. It doesn't exist. Like, that's why rappers will never rise to the level of fame and notoriety that they did in the 90s. It's not going to happen. It's just too dispersed. There's too many, ways to be a fan of people.
So you know how bad it is with the pop music right now and the male superstars. This is what the AI came up with from Brave. Ed Sheeran, who is more on the writing side
That was
at the
my
moment. He puts out
prom
a good
song.
album every 3 years, but he's not like a pop star.
No, I don't think of him that way.
Yeah,
at
no,
all.
I think of him as like soft rock, honestly. The Weeknd, who
Okay.
I guess, but I haven't really heard from him in a while. I think.
He is one of the most charting.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah, the
Non-rappers.
Weeknd. That's an okay answer.
But then we hit Bruno Mars. who I can't remember the last
He's a
time I heard
very
a new Bruno
talented.
Mars
He's
song.
a very talented artist, but he's not the Justin Timberlake figure.
Yeah, same thing with Shawn Mendes. Like, I remember him being big 10 years ago.
They tried to make him that.
Yeah, Harry Styles, and then we hit like Post Malone, who's not really pop.
I don't know, Posty, but then again, he's not as big as Timberlake was.
It's just gone.
I'm
You know, they're
surprised
starting-
that Phil
they're starting
Labonte of
to
All That
play-
Remains isn't on that list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
failed musician Phil Labonte.
Look at failed musician.
You got to
Phil
bring it
here.
back. The opening is there, Phil.
But you know, can you believe they're playing Post
Screamo.
Malone songs on
Screamo
alt
version.
rock
Yeah.
stations now?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
Post Malone is
there
not
was a-
alt
there was
rock.
a
But
long
some of his
time
stuff
when-
is.
There was a long time when like 21 Pilots would be on active
I remember.
rock.
God, I
Yeah.
hated them.
That's not an active rock band, especially
Hi, I'm Tyler
considering-
Joseph.
especially Jesus Christ. Especially considering the fact that like you have active rock bands that are putting out music, right? And then you've got like the media essentially turning completely away from it. Heavy metal is still considered a masculine style of music. The vast majority of the listeners to heavy metal are young men.
Yep.
I know. I've been doing it for 20 years, okay? The thing is there is a focus to, or there's an attempt to draw focus away from things that are typically masculine.
Yeah.
It does seem that way. Yeah.
I do
You
want
can't
to.
have masculine, like if you've got a masculine, or if you have a pop star, they're all somewhat effeminate. They're appealing to a broader section of society because they're not particularly directed at masculine things. Rock music has been considered, has been fairly masculine forever, and the popularity of rock music has been going down, and that is in conjunction with the fact that the focus has been turned away from masculine things and making masculine things look negative.
Is there a like up and coming, like I know with heavy metal it's usually not a solo artist, but is there like the equivalent to Justin Timberlake up and coming in the metal scene, in the heavy metal scene, or like a band?
They tend to be bands like Sleep Token, bands like Bad
Yeah.
Omens are big bands now.
Bad Wolves, I think, was doing pretty well for a while.
No, Bad Wolves has has some rough spots. They're not really they're in a rough spot now. But they were. But the younger bands, I think the ones that popped in my head are like Sleep Token and like and I mean, they're still Bring Me the Horizon, but they're not a new band anymore. But there are some bands that are heavy and masculine and stuff, and especially if you start getting towards the stuff like closer to hardcore and stuff like that. There's still some really masculine kind of attitudes in it. And stuff.
It seems like that whole space is moving sort of like starting to coalesce around the post-hardcore scene to an extent. I'm seeing a lot of it in pop punk too, where like pop punk is getting heavier.
I don't know. I don't know that I can speak.
I think
to
it bifurcated.
Yeah,
I think it bifurcated pop punk because it's like you do have
You have the all-time lows on the one side, yeah, for sure.
and then you have like
All-time low
we watched this
fell
like
off.
cringe video of this
Their
guy
new
who was
stuff's
wearing a
good.
dress doing like hardcore punk
Yeah.
or something like that.
But now
are you
what
talking
is
about,
pop
TX2?
punk is like
Oh, fuck that guy.
Machine Gun Kelly and like Travis Barker.
Everything-
pop
and
punk
these
is
people like
pop
they're-
punk is like Midfield's a great new pop punk band. They've been out since 2019.
they're not charting though.
They're not.
Like that's not what's being played on all these alt rock stations. They're playing like the same two Red Hot Chili Peppers songs. They're playing like Paramore songs that are basically just pop music. They're playing 21
it's-
Pilots.
that's a good
It's
point.
the same
'cause
thing as Hollywood, where
Ronnie-
Hollywood just keeps churning out remakes and whatever
Yeah.
did well 10 years ago. And I think the music industry is doing the same thing.
Speaking of a new remake, they are doing the Wicked musical. That's coming out in theaters soon. And
God.
Ariana Grande is essentially method acting as her character, Glinda. In this recent interview with Penn Badgley, you can see her switching in and out of her real voice, and then she goes to the fake voice all of a sudden.
Weird.
It's very disturbing. Let's listen.
I mean, that's the only thing I
This is her real voice.
That's how I felt. I was like, what has happened? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I've been writing a lot, and maybe there's some more, but I would like to do a deluxe at some point.
What was that?
I mean,
What was that?
That's
She's
the
like,
only
yeah.
thing.
So I was like, and then
But yeah, like I've been doing new music lately.
like, what is that?
It was almost
Who
like
is
the,
that?
It was like the voice she had when she played Kat on Victorious.
Literally, she's going back to that voice. She's going to the Glinda voice or this fake like teehee. I'm
it's
a
like
little
an anim-
princess.
It's like an
thing.
anime voice.
Is there more content to it? Context is like was did somebody ask her to switch
Well,
voices
she
or something?
has like an interview voice, I guess. And people in the comments were trying to say this is totally normal. Everyone changes their voice in the middle of conversations. That is not a thing.
Yes and
At least
no,
not for me.
Because so like you told me to pull this up, and then I have this other clip of DDG, or
It's Halle Bailey's
YouTuber and
baby
rapper.
daddy, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I know him
That's
from
the only thing I know about him.
I know him from this voice, and I'll pull this one up where this one makes sense. So he's saying he was bullied because of his original voice was so deep that he learned how to
He was
speak.
bullied for having a deep voice?
Wait till you hear his voice.
It
though.
does, like, Corpse Husband was in that situation,
forgot
too.
about that guy.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, here's his voice.
Use this voice.
Use your regular voice, or use the voice you're using now.
Yeah, people used to make fun of me, so I just stopped
Oh, that's
using
deep.
it.
Whoa.
And then I learned how to train myself to have a different tone of voice.
Bro,
So
that
when I go to
thing is
school, people
1 in a
stop bullying me.
million.
Dude should be making metal
And I
music.
was getting jobs and shit.
I would collab
imagine
with
like
that,
if I'm
dude.
working at TJ Maxx and I'm trying to sell
My
you.
head is fucked up right now. You doing this? Yo, it's so wild.
See that? I have a real
So that's
conversation
the fake
with somebody
voice.
and then start
That's
laughing.
crazy.
I'm not, but I'm
So that makes sense, right? Like he said, imagine being at a TJ Maxx and sounding like a demon, like that low voice.
Demon. I don't think it sounds like a demon,
No,
but it's definitely
the best way I can describe it, like so low. So like you said, 1 in a million, like so
Well,
off-putting.
Phil, people think that you do this. People think you fake your voice
Yeah,
to be
I-
lower.
well, it's crazy because like there's one guy that says that I fake a deeper voice, and then there's another guy that says that I do the exact opposite, that I fake a high voice. The fact of the matter is I have like a deep voice, but like when I am. If I'm getting emotional or emphatic about something, then my voice will go up. Like remember the television show Perfect Strangers? Anyone remember that? So this was an old comedy that was on in the 80s, and there was this dude in it called Balki Bartokomous, and he had to normally, like when he would talk calmly, he and I think his name's Martin Pinchot was the guy that played him, Pinchot or something like that. But he had a fairly deep voice. But then when he talked, he would get real high up, and that's kind of something that happens with the dudes that tend to be like Mediterranean or like Italian dudes do it a lot, and Greeks do it a lot. Their voice gets higher when they get excited. And not
also,
that I'm from the Mediterranean, but stuff.
When we do late night sound checks, we're on the road and it's like 2 a.m. and we have to do a sound check. Like, and I'm so tired, my voice changes.
Yeah,
it gets very low and raspy and soft, like NPR. Right, but most of the time that's not the state that I'm in.
Yeah,
and it's what you're hearing now. You know,
and I think it's probably very prevalent with especially like vocalists like Ariana Grande. My voice does the
But
same
for
thing because you
her-
already have a vocal range that's going to exceed the normal.
But there
For
is
her,
no
it's different
excitement.
because you can see all
That
these
was
old
weird.
videos where she's talking in her normal voice. This just sounds like a changing personality.
This is not her like laughing in hysterics and be like, "Oh my god!" It's topic 1 and then voice for topic 2.
But yeah, like so I've been working on it.
Like
You should do that. You should do that for an episode. Like, just
weird,
change your
sexy
voice.
baby voice like Paris Hilton. Like that. There's a video of Paris Hilton actually in the replies to that tweet, if you see it, where she's talking to a security guard and then the paparazzi ask her a question. Is it in there?
Does she go from like talking normally to suddenly the press voice?
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, my sister will be in a minute, and then they say, you look great, Paris, and she's like,
thank you.
I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone says. We need to bring Paris Hilton back. We need that energy.
We
in
do.
America.
We do.
Is this the one you're
Stop
talking
being
about?
poor.
Is this the one you're talking about?
Yes, this one.
Like 2 minutes. We're just gonna grab my sister.
I love it, and I want more of it. Bring that back.
We don't
wonder
have
if
like
it's on
white
purpose.
women who act like white women anymore.
Yeah.
White women are all acting like some parody of a black woman, but that
White-
came from gay men.
White woman summer.
Yeah, we need white girl summer. Like where was that in the Chet Hanks thing?
I'm still stuck on the rapper though. Like
He has a gift.
No, I'd rather talk about Paris Hilton.
I don't think I can. I can't even.
I'd rather talk about Paris
I can't
Hilton,
do it.
Do you know who Corpse is?
Who,
Yeah.
Corpse?
Corpse
streamer?
husband.
Corpse husband.
No.
He had like a song that went really viral
was
on
really
TikTok.
bad.
But he was a
It was
streamer at first, and his voice was like that.
He hit his face as well.
Does he wear like a lot of makeup and stuff?
No.
He just didn't show his face for a long time.
Yeah, I don't think he's got.
But like women loved it, and
Yeah, it was weird.
yeah,
No one
I
talks
found it
about it
weird.
anymore.
It sounded fake to me, but it might be real.
From what I understand, he does have like some sort of medical condition.
but
Just click
after
ready.
him, all of these dudes on TikTok started faking their voice. So they're like, "Yeah, this is my real voice.
Yeah, like, no.
I actually talk like this. Don't you find it sexy?" Like,
Meanwhile, they sound like they're recovering from like pertussis.
yeah. Yeah, it's not a good.
They just left the hospital with the pneumonia prescription. Like,
yeah, I thought it was fake at first too, but I think it is real. And like, I think it's better that like if that voice is like 1 in a million, like Phil says, then what are the odds of that voice also becoming famous?
Like, yeah, I mean that guy. If I were that guy, I would not hide my voice. I mean, he has got an absolutely beautiful voice, like and it's something that there's a market for it. People would love to hire him to do that kind of stuff. He shouldn't hide it. That is an absolutely 1 in a million voice. It is absolutely wonderful.
Do you remember
he can do voice acting?
Remember the viral video of the homeless guy who had that like radio voice that got famous?
Oh yeah.
And then he got a Jobs and he was in a Kraft mac and cheese commercial, and then he became homeless again.
Well, AI is going to replace all of these people anyway.
That's
I did want to get your take on this. There was this huge debate about the length women's hair should be on Twitter, essentially. It was this before and after photo. This girl got a pixie cut. It was about shoulder length before that, if you're listening rather than watching. She got a pixie cut, and Elijah Schaefer said females who do this should be arrested.
I have thoughts.
Can Elijah just be normal?
Same. I'm curious to what Phil has to say about
what
this
do you guys
one.
think?
And then I'll share.
Tell me,
From
Phil.
the male perspective
Phil,
here.
tell us.
So her face, and because she's got fairly thin hair, I think it looks much better as a short haircut than as long hair, than having long hair, because it's thin. If she wanted to have if she wanted to put like a weave in or something to give it that body, like the volume that was like when you spend like $500 to have like real hair like shoved into your hair or whatever they do, fine. But because her hair is thin, I think it's okay. Elijah thinking, automatically every woman should have long hair. That is a dumb thing, because if she had really long hair, her hair is thin, it would look stringy and it would look bad. She needs more than just long hair. And people that don't think about when he says she needs long hair, he's thinking full-bodied hair. He's not thinking just that thin hair but long. That's not what he's talking about. So you have to be smart about the way you look, and you have to be realistic about what you can achieve and what you're gonna do. She looks great with the pixie cut, and if she just grew her hair long, she would actually look worse.
I'm totally with you. I think anything longer than shoulder length, it's gonna get hard to maintain with hair that thin, and it's gonna look weird. Like, shoulder length to this, I don't think it matters.
Brett disagreed. He thinks she looks better with long hair.
I also agree, better with the long hair, but that's not even, I wouldn't even consider that long, right? Like, I'm a sucker for bobs. I'm not a fan of pixie cuts, but as Phil was describing this, I was also thinking like the pixie cut for women is like mohawks for men. Some people can pull it off, but it gets forced.
Shaved heads for men.
Yeah, some people can pull it off, but it's so common, and then you're like, that just doesn't look good. And I think the pixie women do the same thing. It's not for every face shape.
If you got a weird shaped head, shaving your head
hair
is rough.
texture.
Yeah.
Like, so many women are doing that these days. They're doing the buzz cuts. I see it in person quite often.
I'll be honest too. Like, looking at this, I think more than anything, it's just that the haircut accentuates different features of her face. Like, the shorter hair accentuates her eyes a lot more.
There's
we're seeing
whereas the longer hair accentuates her chin.
There's a lot of nuance right now, and that is not gonna fly on.
You're right. So. I'm sorry. Women who cut their hair any shorter than 6 inches should be summarily executed.
Yes.
Right. That's what we're doing.
No, we're not. It's a joke. It was
a joke. YouTube.
In Minecraft.
So Sonia Mizuno, I actually think, pulls this off. She was in Devs, and before this role, she had long hair, and then she went with the pixie cut, and I think she actually pulls it off. So like, this is just another example.
I would say like
she's got thin hair.
You mentioned Halle Berry.
Halle Berry's done. Hers is like iconic. Though.
I just think there are a lot of exceptionally attractive women who can look good no matter what hairstyle they have.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean they wouldn't look better with long hair. I think for 99.9% of women, you'd look better with long hair. Elijah took it even further. He said, this post is more controversial than the Israel-Palestine conflict. Some of you are losing your damn minds, and I'm here for it. When we take power, pixie haircuts will be an $1,100 fine for first violation.
Who's we?
I think Elijah Schaefer thinks that a vast majority of the American right agrees with his like super hard right positions.
I don't even know if this is political. Is it political?
It feels political somehow.
Hair colors are definitely a political statement.
Yeah.
Rage bait, I think.
But here's the thing, like, I think a great example of this is Anne Hathaway. Because she's had very long hair, very short hair, and sometimes it's looked really good, sometimes it's looked kind of funny sometimes. And
she's smoking.
Oh no, Anne Hathaway is
nothing
gorgeous.
she can do to be ugly.
Interesting. A lot of people say Anne Hathaway lacks sex appeal while being attractive.
But she has a very elegant, like, I'd say like 19th century kind of beauty to her. You know, it's a very elegant old style.
Is that just because the role she played, though?
See, the thing is, like, my introduction to Anne Hathaway was not her playing those elegant roles. It was some of her smaller roles. You know, some of the more like comedy-oriented movies she's done. I think Catwoman. I saw her as Catwoman at one point, right? I'm not making that up in my mind.
No, it's true.
So, yeah.
So, like, I think that was actually my first time seeing Anne Hathaway on screen. And like recognizing that's Anne Hathaway.
A character that requires a lot of sex appeal. A lot of people said she wasn't right for that role because they just think she lacks it. I don't know. I like Taylor Swift comes to mind as one of these exceptionally attractive women who for some reason just doesn't have that like va-va-voom that someone like Sydney Sweeney
generic
has.
looking. That's why she's
I don't think she's generic
not
looking.
ugly. There's just nothing unique.
I don't think she is generic looking. I think
Sydney
she's
Sweeney
unique
has
looking
unique
and I think she's
features.
gorgeous, but she just doesn't have the va-va-voom factor.
I think the Taylor Swift's got like her facial structure is pretty, but I don't find her particularly attractive.
Maybe she's more attractive to women, and
It might
that would
be,
explain
'cause-
her fan base being mostly women.
I'll also say like this reminds me of like it's just what you're into and the generational differences in style because like as being a Gen Z member of this room, I have no problem with like the nose rings and the septum rings which have gotten like wildly popular, but millennials, Gen Xers, they despise the bull ring, the septum piercing.
Because we're over it.
What's your take
maybe
on that, Phil?
we were doing it in the 90s.
I don't like the bull ring.
But
I don't like the septum
But when
piercing.
modern celebrities, beautiful women are doing this nowadays, you reject it, I embrace it. And it's just like you're going to get that whether or not the woman's beautiful just because of like the differences in generations and the cultural differences.
Interesting.
Taylor Swift is a great artist, great songwriter. She's not super hot.
She's not ugly though. That's why I said she's like generic.
She doesn't look like a foot. But
I personally,
Audrey Hepburn's
I love
a good
her
example
face.
in here.
That's
Audrey
exactly
Hepburn.
what I was going to when we brought up Anne Hathaway. That was the second person that comes to mind because they have both have a very classic look and they have a similar facial structure.
Very European,
and they're beautiful women. Beautiful women.
Another beautiful woman is Brett, who is currently going through transition right now. That's why he's absent from the show. We had an update from him that we wanted to show you guys before we get to cute and cringe of the day. We had
Are you
Brett
sure this
of the day.
isn't cute and cringe of the day?
This is both cute and cringe of the day.
I debate about cute.
This is Brett. He's going through some changes right now. We hope that you guys will accept him once he's back on the show. This is what he looks like now.
Also changing his name to
Gigi Boinsrag. Boinsrag is a good last name.
Boinsrag is awesome.
Brett Boinsrag.
That feels like something. It feels like something you'd find in like Hobbiton in Lord of the Rings. Like somebody's name is like Boinsrag.
Wait, Kellen, how did you actually generate this? Like, I don't understand.
I blended a photo of Brett with Ice Spice.
And this is just what it spit out.
This is the result. Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm excited for Brett to get back and, unveil his new look for everybody.
In fact, Brett showed the surgeon this photo and said this. And he said, say no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just scrolling through the replies to Elijah's tweet still, and one person just cropped it so that the only thing in the picture is the cleavage, and he just goes, "It's fine."
Oh, okay.
That's the thing, is that's where every man's eyes like briefly saw the face, and then we're like, "Oh."
Yeah, exactly. It's obviously she's still feminine looking,
Also,
regardless of her hair length.
This poor woman who like
Didn't
didn't do
for
anything
this.
to get
was posted on the salon Instagram page.
Yeah.
Did not ask for any of this smoke.
Yeah, that's why you should say no. Like I've had a barber like when I've had longer hair and like I got it cut. They're like, "Oh, can we take a photo for our Instagram?" I'm like,
You said no.
It's just weird because I don't want people like.
That's fair.
I don't want them being. I don't want to be the number 18. They're like, give me that look.
And Elijah's
a poster
gonna
on the
post you.
wall. Yeah, and then Elijah
He's gonna
Schaefer
say you
comes
should
for
be
my
arrested.
life. Yeah.
Do you think maybe it was like one of those bait things where they're like, women who wear this look awful? It's like, I hate when women wear tight dresses.
Well, that went for the whole like sundress gate
Yeah.
thing. Like no one could
Which,
decide
like,
what a sundress is.
You know what?
With Evie.
You saw that, right, Phil?
I heard about
Are you talking about the Evie dress?
Yeah, the Evie dress.
I think it looks fine. You know what? Honestly, too, is the fact that they included pockets, because when my girlfriend wears a sundress, I'm always having to carry stuff. And I'm like, oh, they've got pockets? Great. I'm in for it because now I don't have to carry anything. I carry my things, you carry your things.
It was very contentious. I did buy the dress, though. Just because
did
I
you
had
get it
morbid
yet?
curiosity. I've not gotten it yet, but I am really interested.
You'll have
see
to
what
do
it
like a
will be.
review. Do like a YouTube short and
Yeah,
just
I'll
like
do
give
a-
it like
I'll do a review.
a 0 out of 10
Definitely
score.
not simp bait.
No, like you don't even have to wear it. Just be like, oh, the material's like a 6. The pockets are a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, guys, what should we do first? Cute or cringe of the day?
We didn't have cringe yesterday.
Yeah, so we should start with cringe, you mean? All right, go ahead. This is POV. This is your daughter. How do you handle her behavior?
Seriously ridiculous.
This is seriously
No, you need to grow up.
This is seriously
You
ridiculous.
do. You need to grow up.
Bro, we're just shopping.
No, we're not just shopping. We're pushing around a 15-year-old adult.
We're just shopping.
Adult.
Yeah, adult.
She's tired.
It's not funny. It's serious.
She wore herself out at the mall.
This is a problem. You're not supposed to talk to your mom like that. You have an issue, and you need to get a grip on it. Period. Anna, I'm ready to go now. Get back over here. Alana.
The cartwheels are impressive.
Every time we go out, this is how you act. I'm done. I'm over it. Anna, stop it. Alana, I cannot believe you right now. I
This
swear
is like
to God,
the
dude,
worst
I can
behaved
never take you
15-year-old I've ever
anywhere.
seen.
I'm done. We're going home. I'm never bringing you out again. This is ridiculous. People are laughing at you. Alana, parkour. What is that?
Oh, that's sick.
What are you talking about?
I just said parkour.
What is that? What is parkour?
Want to see?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I don't want to see. I don't want to know. Alana, please.
They know what they're doing.
Okay, I'm
But no, like if I had done that at that age, I would have been dragged out of the King of Prussia Mall by my ear, shoved into a car, and not allowed to leave the house for a month.
If the mother wasn't recording, she's not doing this. This is all because there's a camera.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. Is
100%.
the mom shouldn't be recording because why? And the dad shouldn't be like enabling the daughter, and the daughter should know how to behave. This entire family is a mess.
I will say, if this was before the grocery store, she did say, "I tired myself out at the," or the dad said she tired herself out at the mall. And
She's
that's why
15.
Well, look at all those cartwheels and parkour she's doing. I'd be tired too.
I'm 10 years old. I am 10 years older than her, and I ran for basically 20 hours yesterday on 2 hours of
The
sleep.
weirdest
Like,
take on this
she can do it.
is that people thought the mother is jealous of her daughter.
I wouldn't. I will say, like, the dad basically deferring to the daughter the whole time is a little like. I could see it.
The dad's probably so upset because he's like, dude, just ignore her. Why are you recording? It seems like both women in his life are just desperate
This poor
for
man.
attention.
They're out of control.
This poor man.
But I think that's what it is. I think if they're creating a spectacle out of it. I think she probably is a lot to handle because it's a 15-year-old, and now you're capitalizing on this via social media, and it's like now you're giving her
Could
an
totally be staged.
You're giving her an audience.
My little sister at 15 would have been mortified.
Oh yeah, take the phone. Also, is what I wanted to say. Why does she have a phone in her lap? If she's misbehaving, take it.
But also, like, what's
We're not
cartwheels,
gonna.
man.
Whatever. They can deal with their own problems.
Be an
Okay.
adult. Be a grown up.
We got cute of the day to cleanse our palate today.
Yes, we do. So the first one that we have is from SK Hoki, and it's Shoka and her best friend forever, Bruno, enjoying the day.
Oh, like Ahsoka, the Star Wars name, or is it Ashoka?
I don't know how you spell the Star Wars one.
Cute, fluffy.
Oh, it is adorable.
Oh yeah.
He's tiny.
Oh.
I like that
Oh
one.
my God. They're friends.
I like Bruno. And then we have another one from WKE, or I guess it's Wicked Josh, with his cat.
Oh, that's crazy. I've never seen a cat like tummy rubs that much. They usually lash out.
Really?
Yeah. No.
That cat is loafing.
Yeah. Cute. Love it.
Oh, she's out.
All right.
And that is.
I think that's all we got.
I was looking.
We
for
have
a
more,
name.
but we gotta save them.
No name of the
Send
thing.
in your pets. Hashtag PCC pets. Brett still wants you to tag
It's $20.
him in those posts. We got a 20 from Pat the Plumber. He said 911 service is down in Massachusetts. I'm worried we're gonna be ground zero for the zombie outbreak.
That happens.
Is that
been
true?
happening a lot.
Huh?
Not
I'm
just in
very
Massachusetts. I've seen like 3 or 4 instances this year alone where 911 goes out for multiple jurisdictions across different states.
All right.
I think that it's an aging system that Biden was supposed to build back better, and that just didn't happen.
Build back.
What has been built back?
The Baltimore Bridge.
No, it hasn't.
I know.
Dude,
That's never gonna happen.
my little sister graduated from a university in Maryland, in Baltimore a few weeks ago. We went down there. We were on a little
Traffic is
a party
horrendous.
boat ride. The bridge. We were just looking at the bridge, which is still. I think the boat might have still. It looked like the boat was still there.
Didn't they say that there were still people on
Yeah,
the
and they're not allowed to
ship?
leave. Their
That's
phones were
crazy.
seized and stuff. Yeah,
Weird
because they're like,
stuff.
how does this
It's national
happen?
security investigation.
Well, you guys got to remember, before you can build something new, you got to destroy what's currently there. So, this is just step one.
All right, we're going to jump into the first topic. I really wanted to talk about this yesterday, but we ran out of time. It seems like Kim Kardashian is essentially grooming her daughter North for fame. And I cannot excuse it. She was recently celebrating her 11th birthday with Kai Cenat. And we've talked about Kai Cenat before on the show. He was responsible for starting a Zoomer riot in New York. He is an incredibly controversial streamer on Twitch. And presumably Northwest is a huge fan of his. And this was her birthday wish, is to meet this guy. And it looks like they're doing arts and crafts together here.
Yeah, they're
They had a
painting
little
or
collab
something.
that was posted on his Instagram. And I'm not saying that this in itself is weird. I think the fact that this was orchestrated and planned for content is weird. I'm not trying to accuse Kai of being predatory or anything like that, just disclaimer. But this isn't the first time this has happened. And this happened just last year when North was 9 years old. Kim Kardashian orchestrated a weird collab, like TikTok Playdate with North and Ice Spice, this vulgar rapper. And they were making TikToks together with her friends, rapping to her lyrics, which are, a lot of them are sexual. And I just thought at the time, you're obviously putting this bad influence in your daughter's life, and you're broadcasting it to millions upon millions of people when she doesn't understand the consequences of that. But as for the Kai Cenat situation, a lot of people were saying this is weird, right? Like, do other people think that this is weird? Am I alone in this?
So I think it's irresponsible on behalf. It's tough. I honestly don't think it's that weird. And the reason is, if you're Kim Kardashian and you have the resources that the Kardashians have, yeah, your kid's going to hang out with celebrities if your kid wants to hang out with celebrities. Kai Cenat is the celebrity right now. Ice Spice is the celebrity for this kid. Maybe not a good role model, but I don't think I think it's beside the point. Now, this just reminds me, we were talking about this before the show, that Macaulay Culkin got touted all in every nightly talk show, did every interview imaginable when he was a child during Home Alone. He was on top of the world. So was his family irresponsible? Because I think you have to look at these things the same way. This is a child star.
There's a difference between Macaulay Culkin and Northwest, and it's
Why?
because he was a child star. He was an actor. Northwest just happens to be the child of famous parents. Just because they are famous doesn't mean they need to groom her in order to put her into the spotlight.
But I don't
Plenty of famous people
I don't see this as grooming.
with children who don't put their children in the public eye. And I'm not saying that her meeting someone that she likes and is a fan of is grooming. I definitely don't think that.
I think it's all the
If
Kardashians
anyone
know.
thinks that I'm accusing him of anything, I'm not. What I'm saying is Kim is the real villain here.
We had 15 years plus to reel in this phenomenon of celebrating a famous person's children with the Kardashian family.
Yeah.
And the world embraced it. They didn't reject it. So here we are. We shouldn't be surprised. I think this is a separate conversation to Kai Cenat and Ice Spice hanging out with the kid. I think this is the fact that she's famous just by extension.
The only
and we're
other,
embracing it.
The only other children I see who get this much attention from the media are the royal family of England. That is the only other.
Well, the Kardashians are the American royal family.
I know, that's what I mean. Is like that's how they get treated. Is as if they're the American royal family.
Exactly.
This happened with Jaden Smith and Willow Smith too.
I mean, there was someone mentioned there's a picture of Willow Smith at age 13 laying in a bed with some 22-year-old rapper.
That's weird.
Given
there have been
that her
countless-
mother is who her mother is, I wouldn't be surprised.
I just don't think it's appropriate just because you're famous that you should expect your
Yeah.
children to be part of that life.
And you can't ask them for
part of the
consent for
public
it.
eye. There are plenty of famous people who don't show their kids' faces or even their names, let alone putting them in these weird situations for content online. She could meet this guy without making it into content. And by the way, she literally just turned 11. People think she's older than she is because she looks a little bit older than her age.
Yeah.
She's still very young, but she has basically free reign to have this TikTok account, posting all of this crazy shit, rapping lyrics that are entirely age inappropriate, meeting all of these adults.
I
in
was
this
singing along
in the entertainment industry.
I was singing along to like Green Day when I was 7.
Millions of people weren't watching.
That's true.
It's a huge difference.
I think what you have a problem with is the fact that Kim Kardashian, what you're seeing, what we're all seeing is Kim Kardashian's getting older and old enough to a point where all the surgeries and the injections aren't going to last much longer, right? So what is she doing? She's creating her value through the child.
I think
that's problematic.
That's gross.
She
the
should
fact that a
be setting
kid
her up
is
with a trust
hanging
fund.
out with their idols, I think, is not that big of a
Kai
deal.
Cenat posted
Yeah.
a response. We're just gonna listen to what he had to say in defense of himself.
To everybody who literally made yesterday weird, you're being so weird, bro. Everybody who made yesterday weird, here's the thing, okay? First things first, bro. I am North's favorite streamer, bro. Okay? So yesterday, all she wanted to do was meet me, bro. That was it. Literally. All she wanted to do was to meet me. So anybody who was making it weird, like, that's the weirdest thing ever because, like, bro, I have a whole bunch of parents whose daughters and sons would love to meet me, bro. And if I could, I would just meet everybody. You feel what I'm saying? We had a great time yesterday. To everybody who...
So the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, I don't know if they like still get views at all, but when I was a kid, that was like something we watched. Me and my sister. Every year we watched the Kids' Choice Awards. One year there was a sweepstakes where if you called in, you could win a chance to go hang out with the cast of iCarly. It was the biggest kids show in the world at the time. Everyone was psyched about it. I don't think anybody would have been like, "Oh, that's super weird," because I mean, Jerry Trainer isn't a child,
and this is completely normalized with athletes.
Again, I don't think it's a problem for kids to meet their idols.
Okay, yeah.
There's a huge difference when you're the daughter of Kim Kardashian and she is using this as a way to essentially give you a public brand before you even know what that means.
Right, and I agree there.
And this, I brought up this old tweet that showed Ice Spice's TikToks with North back in 2023 when she was 9 years old. Let's just look at the first video. They're rapping to Ice Spice's lyrics. And then North's friend is also there. Do you think that if Kanye were asked about this, he would be cool with that?
Probably not.
No, he said he's not cool with it.
No, he's not.
No, I don't think it's the fact that you're meeting an idol. I think it's the fact what Ice Spice is doing. She needs to learn how to act around children.
She's literally
is a child.
Ice
Spice is like 20.
She was 23 in that video.
Really?
Yes.
She's older than I thought she was.
And I think she's like 25 now.
Yeah.
So no, you don't get a pass.
She's also an AstroTurf
I would
celebrity.
I would not be doing that and you know, rapping those lyrics and like showing my body in some video with a 9-year-old girl. I would never do that at any age, at any point in life. She's doing it for clout, and so is Kim.
Yeah.
And then you see this video that North made directly after that, cosplaying as Ice Spice, rapping her lyrics. This is what kids do. This is what kids do. They imitate what they're exposed to and the people that they're around.
Yeah, see, here's, and I think right there in that video is where you see it. That little turnaround thing she did that Ice Spice does, that is, when Ice Spice does it, it's because she's flaunting.
Twerking.
She's flaunting.
Twerking. Right.
Obviously, North didn't do the whole motion, but like that is her imitating what is definitely a sexualized behavior, even if it's very minor and in the adult context of like what Ice Spice does on stage with that little hip bump kind of thing. Minor, but it's definitely supposed to be sexualized. That's the idea.
Phil, how would you navigate a young fan wanting to meet you, or if you had to play at a... What
would be the minimum age?
Probably. Well, I mean, meet and greets. You'd have to. It would depend on the venue.
Yeah.
So they are all ages. Most of the time, they have some kind of clause with like 13 or whatever. If they come to the meet and greet, that's fine because it's not.
It's a controlled environment.
Yeah, it's a meet and greet environment. Otherwise, I don't.
You're not going to someone's house because their parent invited you to come record TikToks with them to your songs.
So I guess that's the issue.
That, by the way, they have curse words in them.
It's
as
this
well.
one-on-one kind of. It's not the fact that they're meeting their idols. It's the fact that it's a one-on-one. I think is kind of the root of the problem.
For millions of people to watch, you're making content out of it.
Yeah,
that's totally out of the question.
That's the problem.
I started bringing like this has been a thing. Like little boys want to meet their athlete idols, right? Every kid when I was growing up wanted to meet Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, and if they could sit down and get McDonald's with either of them, it would blow their mind. It would be the best thing ever. You know,
you're not
but
supposed to give kids whatever they want. No.
I understand that, but like, is that like, would you view that just as problematic as is it the type of celebrity they are?
Of course.
Okay.
It has everything to do with the type of person Ice Spice is in the public eye. I mean, she has a song called Shit Fart. I mean, look at this woman. Her entire brand is being half naked and rapping about sex.
I don't find her particularly interesting as an artist. She doesn't seem very talented to me.
Well, apparently to 9-year-old girls who
Which
idolize her, she's
proves my point.
intensely interesting. And I bring up Kanye because he has voiced his dismay with North's presence on social media before this, well before this, and he is continuously being ignored. So I want to show this video that he put out in 2022.
I just look at my daughter full makeup, singing She's in Love with an emo girl on TikTok, and I didn't have no say, no approval. Hey, what do you think? Do you think this would be cool or not? You know what I mean? And I'm the one that made them cool. But then I'm not asked what's cool for my actual children in America. Like, nah, man. I just look at my daughter full.
That's sad. Imagine see the heartbreak.
Imagine
hear it.
having to have those two as your parents.
Well, that's
that
what I was
you're
gonna
not
say.
coming out normal.
Does he have a leg to stand on, Kanye?
No, he's a hypocrite. He's a total hypocrite for this because in more recent years, he's been having North accompany him at these listening parties for Vultures on stage with all these rappers rapping about sex. He's around, or she is around his basically naked wife.
That's the part that gets me.
He's a hypocrite, but he also had a point.
Yeah.
If you just look at that in a vacuum, he has a point.
Yeah, right here. But that's the bigger thing for me is like, imagine as a daughter, you see your father, like, you know, walking around with a woman who's basically naked, and you can tell that, like, you know, she didn't walk around like that before she was with Kanye. How are you're going to grow up thinking that's the way men are supposed to treat you because you immediately assume as a child that, you know, your father is the way men are supposed to treat their wives. That's obviously not always the case, but that is your first introduction to husband and wife relationships, and it sticks with you your whole life.
And your idea of what it means to grow up is to lean into being a sexual object, basically. If you're in North's position here, every example that you have of your mom, your stepmom, all the women in your family, that's what it means to grow up, is to show off your body on the internet.
I think, go ahead. I think this is why Taylor Swift, part of the reason she's so popular, is she's the saving grace of this degenerate pop star culture, right? And she's not even doing that much. Yeah. She's modest where every other pop star is half naked, touching themselves, being gross.
She's wearing glittery leotards.
Her lyrics are also very tame in that regard. And we've said that before. People got mad, but it's true. Taylor Swift is one of the most kid-friendly pop stars or people in the entertainment industry, period.
I think the only Taylor, I don't listen to a ton of her music, but the only Taylor Swift song I can think of that I feel like has an explicit reference to sex that I recall is Wildest Dreams. And it's like being tangled in the sheets together. It's not wet ass pussy. Like,
right. It's like there's a difference between those things.
Can't believe that song got so popular.
Yeah, there's
and then Ben Shapiro. That's the crazy part. That song got so popular. They had Ben Shapiro commenting on it and reciting the lyrics on Ben Shapiro.
It's about being a prostitute.
That should say something though about America's culture, that song rose to such stardom that you had someone like Ben Shapiro.
Now, hypothetically, if we were to have a wet ass pussy, how would that be wet? It shouldn't be. I asked my doctor wife.
P-word.
I asked my doctor wife, and she said that women aren't supposed to get that wet, which is why she never does.
That's a medical condition.
Mop in a bucket.
That was the worst self-burn I've ever seen in my life.
Well, that's how they painted it. But it's just, it's
but like back to Kim. The reason I think Kim is the bad guy in all of this, and it's not necessarily Cenat, it's not necessarily Ice Spice, because they're just capitalizing on the moment. She's the villain here because she's the one pulling the strings. She controls who her daughter has access to. She controls her daughter's social media access as well, and what public presence she has or not. And what I don't understand, if you're in Kim's position, is how you can watch Kylie Jenner and Kendall Jenner growing up and see what they became and think, yes, like this is the path that I'm going to lead my daughter to go down at 11 years old.
Because people don't go to church, because people have no sense of community anymore, there is no like alternate opinion. There is no angel on your shoulder. There's only the devil. So these people, like what you're thinking, the mindset you have, how you can compare good and bad, that does not exist for these people. They're, whether it's because of money or fame, they're so far deep in their bubble that they can't find
30 Canadian dollars from Uncle Josephine. He said, Phil, I need your help. Can I commission an aggressive intro voice line for my Escape from Tarkov stream? Just something simple like, I'm Phil from All That Remains. Now get ready for Uncle Josephine. Pronounce, Yosivin.
Should do a cameo.
Yeah, I have a Cameo page. You can check it out on my Twitter account. And there is a business link there.
What's the craziest cameo you've ever had to do?
I don't do anything.
Do you decline most of them?
No, not most of them, but I have increased the price to be prohibitively expensive.
I need to do that too because I get.
What?
Do you have a Minect account yet?
I don't know what a Minect account is.
It's a Patrick Bet David. He like created this version of Cameo, except you pay people to text message you or send you voice notes.
No, Cameo can do that too.
Like answer your questions, or like you can pay for a FaceTime call with someone.
I don't like that.
Cameo has
stuff
that.
like that.
Because of getting ready for the tour and stuff, I don't have time to do it. So I did increase the price.
Anything memorable though that you've ever had to say?
Really.
No.
I got on Cameo. I want to say like a year and a half to 2 years ago, and at the time nobody was ordering them. I didn't have any, so I put it like $10, and now people are asking me for stuff where they're like, "Can you explain this extraordinarily complicated subject to me?" And I'm like,
in 60 seconds.
For $7.50? No.
Yeah.
There is value there though, not in the $7.50, but condensing.
Yeah.
Wild. Like that's what John Green used to do with his like abbreviated history. I forget what it was called. Crash Course. He'd take these wildly nuanced and complicated subjects and he'd boil them down into a few minutes. And so there is value there.
It takes a long time to prepare that though, and it's definitely worth
that's
more
why I said,
than
$10.
Not for
$7.50.
That's why, like I said, I made it's now prohibitively expensive. If you want to, it's there, but it's not cheap.
But you're not going to say
It's not
anything
cheap at all.
sussy.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to say it. One time I had to decline. Someone was like, Can you roast my friend who's a communist? I'm like, I'm not roasting your friend. I don't want to do that kind of stuff.
I think I did do one where I roasted somebody's friend, but very politely.
There's plenty of sound bites of you roasting commies.
Yeah,
I mean, you can find them for
shortage
free.
of that. But I wanted to bring it back to Kylie Jenner and Kendall Jenner because there was this infamous moment of them as children, aged 9, maybe 10, on the first episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. They're in a bedroom with Kim Kardashian and I think someone in the Pussycat Dolls, and they have a stripper pole in there. And this was supposedly for Kim to be doing stuff on a stripper pole, but the children were allowed to start swinging around on this stripper pole and getting recorded by some guy in a bedroom. This is in the very first episode of Keeping Up. And Kylie now says she regrets doing this. But just case in point, this is what happens in this family.
Yeah, I think personally...
I wanted to play this.
Okay, go ahead.
What's Girls Gone Wild again?
Oh, no.
I told you about Girls Gone Wild.
Isn't it the thing where like they lift their shirts? Woo, 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 woo.
If I see you lift up your shirt one more time, talk about Girls Gone Wild, you're gonna be grounded.
God, he was so
It's
young.
like a belly button show.
He's letting it happen though. And
On
I think
camera.
it looks like he's just not sure what to do.
And then they get out this camera, and this
Makes me
friend
so uncomfortable.
starts recording them.
I gotta shoot this.
Well, he's not.
Who is this
their,
guy?
He's not their dad.
No.
Like it's not his job to
No.
parent them.
Gone Wild is like this.
Yeah, this is weird.
Who is this guy?
A little crazy, but you know what? I'm gonna start managing you girls. But we're gonna put this like on YouTube or something because it's gonna be amazing.
I think he needs to be
Wood chipper.
investigated.
Wood chipper. Send this man to the wood chipper.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft. I just said send him to the wood chipper. I didn't say what to do with it.
Stripper pole. As I come in here.
We're going to put this on YouTube or something.
No, stop.
The one person in the room with any sense.
Dude, I think he needs to be invested. Do you know who that is? Mary?
No, I don't. But look, regardless of who that is and all of the context, there's no context that makes that acceptable. And I'm just saying, this is the environment in which Kendall and Kylie grew up on TV. They had no choice in the matter, and they became different adults as a result. And I'm just saying it's wrong to see that as Kim being the adult in the situation and think, this is okay for my daughter. I'm going to do this by choice. I have all of the knowledge in the world as to why this is a bad idea, but it helps my career to make my 10-year-old daughter have a brand and a social media presence that her father is totally opposed to.
I remember back in
it's not right.
2018, 2019-ish, I started seeing this like resurgence online for like people trying to tell you not to shame those who use stripper poles, not necessarily strippers, but stripper poles. And I'm like,
it's for exercise.
Exactly. And that's what they said. And I'm like, okay, sure. I'm not saying that it's easy to do what they're doing, but it's also a stripper pole. Like both things are true.
It's inherently.
Like, yes, it's impressive, but it's also like adult and it's graphic. Like this is not, there should not be a course for children, like an exercise course on how to use this. If they want to go play with a pole, go to the fire station.
And I am
like,
willing
learn
to
do
just
something
say this.
good for your community.
No 9-year-old, no 10-year-old, no 11-year-old should have a TikTok
Yeah.
or a smartphone, period. It's just no. It's an immediate no from me.
That might actually be a good idea.
And that's regardless of whether you're famous or your parents are famous. That is not okay.
I firmly believe that you should not be able to make money off of content where children are the primary focus. Like, it's one thing if you're talking about like a documentary and it's about, charter schools, like that's one thing. But something like this where you are putting your children on camera and having them do stuff like that, having them go hang out with Cenat, and you're making money from it as an adult, even if you say you're going to put it away for them, I don't think that should be allowed. I think obviously there's going to have to be a loophole there with movies because they have kids in them. But I think like social media content, I don't think you should be able to monetize children.
So, Mary, before we go to Super Chats, I did want to pull up this last article that I think would kind of be a nice end cap here. That we actually have a little bit of hope because the U.S. Surgeon General is calling for putting warning labels on social media, especially for children, citing the mental health emergency and how potentially destructive it is. Phil, you look, you've got
So the
something to say about it.
government is going to protect children.
But it's going to be what people say. It's going to be similarly akin to how they put warning labels on cigarettes
and like explicit.
I think this is better than doing nothing.
It's okay, fine. It's better than doing nothing, but it's
a step in the right direction.
What are your thoughts?
It's very close to accomplishing nothing because it comes down to like what happened to the just basic parental instinct,
It's gone.
wanting to protect your children from predators or even just being like mocked and bullied by millions of people. What happened to that? And if you don't have that instinct as a parent, there's no hope.
We got rid of bullying.
I mean, yeah, that's also a problem.
Phil, what were you
but
gonna
there's
say?
just no reason these kids should be exposed to that level of scrutiny or sexualization.
There's nothing that's going to happen with a warning label on it because it didn't work to prevent kids from listening to explicit music. It doesn't work to prevent kids from watching horror movies, and the effect of social media with the like button that vibrates to tell you someone just gave you an approval is the most powerful drug. It's the most, it is the most accurate drug
for
because
developing
it
brain.
Targets exactly what kids are looking to have. They want to have that feeling of approval. They want to have that feeling of being accepted by their social circle, and that's exactly what it does. You could put spikes tipped with like poison frog dart poison on them, and the kids would still figure out a way to carry that phone around with the social media. Like, you really need parents to step in and solve this. This is not something the government's going to be able to do at all.
So do you think?
So all you're doing is giving the government a reason to prosecute parents.
Well, did you also in Florida? I don't know if this has taken effect, but they're banning social media use for children. I think under the age of 14, maybe it's 16.
It's supposed to already be 13 based on the community guidelines of the websites themselves.
That's a button, though.
Which is why a warning or TOS, that's not going to do
How do you
anything.
enforce, though? This is the problem. You can pass these laws. How do you enforce it?
I think you have.
Are you going to send cops to people's houses?
It's got to be ID verification.
It's so tricky.
I mean, it's
IDs. I mean,
It has to be.
why
That's the
Twitter.
only possible thing.
It's not good, but that's the only way. If you want to
Twitter,
actually police
is
this,
forcing people to put in their IDs
you need to
have a blue
disclose.
check.
And maybe that's why they're letting the problem run rampant. So we beg for the cure, which is just putting our IDs all over the internet, all our personal
whether or
information.
not Elon allows his young children to have an account on X in the future will say everything about his decision to leave porn on that platform. But we need to read some of these super chats. Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Taco Tuesday, Mary, Kellen, and Aidan." And Phil. I added that. Mary, the new Chick-fil-A sandwich is fire. Aidan, I figured secret backmasked message yesterday and we'll reveal it tomorrow. Kellen, you didn't break anything. Thumbs up.
Who said that?
You didn't break anything. Shane H. Wilder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Brett. I was going to feel really good. Brett always accused me of breaking everything.
I already tried the new Chick-fil-A sandwich. It's
The pimento?
No, that one was great. But there's a new one called the maple pepper bacon. Ooh. It's not as good.
Chick-fil-A's
not
open
nearly
again.
as good. It's
the one down the way. It's open again.
That's good. But I mean, still, it's not measuring up. Shane H. Wilder said, "Oh, hi, Commander Phil."
Hello.
He remembered you. Serenko Productions said Ariana's in her Arian Grande era. Well, she's done pretending to be black and she just switched back to being white.
Yeah, I don't get that. What
Simple.
is this obsession like? Whatever.
What? She has been every race at this point. So
I think she's just got that Mediterranean skin tone that's ambiguous enough that if you change your hair color and your makeup style, you can.
It's not just that. She was getting intense spray tans. She was definitely blackfishing.
But I remember seeing the pictures. But were those edited? Because they made Trump look way more orange than he actually is.
No, she was really doing that.
Yeah, that's weird then.
It's just whatever.
And she had a weird fake black scent at the time
true.
as well. When she was dating black guys, she pretended to be black. It's
whatever
incredibly
route
weird.
you choose with your personal style, there is this overwhelming pressure to just drastically change it, right? So you see this with Erin Moriarty from The Boys, where she's gotten all this work done. She's completely a different person than she was 3 years ago. And I don't know if fame did it to her. I don't know if the pressure from being in one of the biggest TV shows did it to her. But it's
she ruined her face.
You're okay,
and
but everyone does. Ariana did it.
She was so mad at people for just pointing it out that she rage quit social media. It was pathetic. Jason Dixon said, "What's up, losers? Love you guys."
Rude.
A little bit rude, but love you too.
I know what you mean.
Not that Jon Stewart said, "Cutesy Mary voice scares me."
What do you mean? You think that the cutesy Paris Hilton voice is scary?
Stefan
really
Buttle
actually.
said, "Marina Baccarin, sexy with long or short hair."
Who?
I don't know if I've heard of that person. Okay, we got to move on because we're quickly running out of time. I feel like we're not going to get to everything. But from yesterday, another thing that we ran out of time for is talking about Hollywood humiliation rituals. The last time that I saw people bringing this up as a concept was John Cena's appearance at the Oscars, I believe, where he looked like he was buck naked on stage. And he was presenting an award to somebody. Everyone started reposting this saying this is his humiliation ritual, and then him cross-dressing on the set of this movie he's about to be in. And they're saying they're putting him through this in order to, demasculinize him. And he has to do this humiliation ritual in exchange for keeping his fame and status. And that's the essential idea behind this, what they think is a Hollywood humiliation ritual.
So Brett's gonna hate this, but listen, John Cena is already in the WWE. All right, he humiliated himself way more than he ever had to.
Bing shilling.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. There's such cheesy scripts that they give you. The costumes are weird. If this was for him specifically, he would have been embarrassed far before the Ricky Stenicki
masculine
stuff.
domain. I think the main point here is if it happens to a man, he has to debase himself. He has to lean into looking gay, looking feminized, wearing dresses and skirts and makeup. I recently saw that Marlon Wayans released a gay pride photo shoot online. He captioned it, "As a father of a child in the LGBTQ plus community, I show my support. 0 F's what people think. If I lost you, good. Your hateful ass never loved me in the first place. How can you love anyone when you're too busy judging?"
Oh my God. It's like a Hallmark card.
He's covering himself in the rainbow flag.
I actually love the fact that they released this photo shoot because it shows just how like corporate this has become, and it's just about dollar signs, because they definitely just went to Target and were like, hey, let's get some like plastic balls like for a play pit, like a ball pit. Let's just throw those in the photo.
I'm gonna
too.
wear like a
These are
rainbow
colorful.
bucket hat, but it's because Marlon Wayans' child is trans or identifies as non-binary with they/them pronouns, and he's talked about this before. He's posturing as being, this is the good, virtuous parent who allows your child to express their gender identity. And
All this
he
stuff-
got a lot of praise for it. It worked.
Either posturing or like catering to like kind of like the wokies out there, but it's also just like this seems like a protest, honestly, because people are different than society. Like I would say the status quo. They feel the need to go out of their way to like protest and show people that they're different because they want to be heard. Just like you're saying, every child wants that appreciation. For a lot of people, they don't grow out of that. And I think this is an example of that, where they just want to be like, whether his child it is, or like whatever it is, it's just a need for
brothers
attention.
were like known for being edgy and known for irreverent humor, and to see this happen.
So you think this is not
very strange.
It's not a social
It's
commentary
out of character.
thing.
It's out of character. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think it's a humiliation ritual. I don't think that this is like. I think these guys just pulled the ladder out from under them. They climbed up, they got famous, and then they said, you know what? All those jokes that we made about gay people, all those jokes we made about trans people, all those jokes we made about other races, that was okay for us in the 90s and the 2000s. But
Sure.
you guys, Gen Z, no, absolutely not.
But like Dave Chappelle has talked about this before, where he sees this intense pressure for not only himself but other stars, specifically black men in Hollywood, to cross-dress.
So I
they
think
really
that-
want you to wear a dress, and it almost seems like it's not for the jokes. It's just to make a fool out of you.
So one of the few pop culture communities where you do still see kind of an acceptance of, to put it lightly, homophobic language is hip hop. That is one of the few places that it has remained, and there's plenty of hip hop artists who are totally against it, but you do have people still in that community who aren't apologizing for the music they made 20 years ago.
The homophobic language you're talking about didn't disappear.
No.
It's now been embraced as good words.
Yeah.
They've changed the meaning of those words.
They reclaimed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
no, that's
Well,
they
I
haven't
also
gone
saw,
away.
since you
They're
brought
still
up
there.
rap,
That's why, go
Lil
ahead, Mary.
Uzi Vert also became the new ambassador for Marc Jacobs, and in those press photos, he's wearing a dress and he's wearing gloves and this purse, and he's doing the little hip pop. He's popping out his hip.
This one I pushed back on you when you talked about it yesterday, because Lil Uzi Vert, this is his brand. He's always been this like ambiguous kind of dude. He's also
Didn't
from
he say
Philly.
that he's like that he identifies as like non-binary?
I think
or
so, and that was a
something?
while ago. I think he's
Yeah.
been doing this all along. If you look at his early album covers, they're very colorful. He's always been very expressive. Just like he reminds me of like if David Bowie was a rapper, it'd be Lil Uzi Vert.
Just Gen Z ruining rap.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it
this
goes
one I pushed.
beyond
This one
just-
doesn't seem like he's catering.
Yeah, sure, but it goes beyond the men wearing dresses, cross-dressing, wearing makeup, to other examples. Like, I've seen a lot of people say that moment at the 2009 VMAs where Kanye interrupted Taylor Swift's speech and said, "I'm gonna let you finish," but that was a humiliation ritual. They think that Taylor Swift had to undergo this public humiliation in order to get her career ahead.
She already had a career.
Well, it was 2009. She definitely was smaller than she is now.
But she won it. She was up there winning a Grammy at the age of
Yes.
what, 19?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
That's not a humiliation ritual. That is Kanye, who is known to be a narcissistic, bipolar kind of guy, getting up on stage and trying to impress Beyonce. That's all that was. And I think what people forget with this kind of thing is like they want to see the conspiracy, but this is a group of people who live in a city where every single person who is going to talk about politics is left wing. Every single one of them. And I think that what's going on here is they're trying to be like, hey, as African American men, we know that this is one of the communities that has been called out as still having homophobia in the culture. So let's be good examples. I think that's what they're doing. That's how they see it, in my opinion.
Well, as for the VMAs stunt, a lot of people still think it was staged, even if they don't think it was some kind of occult ritual.
Yeah,
but
what
I see this theory is that Taylor Swift was going through an initiation into the circle of chosen artists. The pupil is humiliated in front of her peers and told that she is not worthy to be on the same stage as Beyonce, the queen of the ceremony. Almost all groups, fraternities, or gangs carry out an initiation process to test the recruit's character, strength, and worth. Swift's ordeal was to have Kanye ruin her first award ever and to be told that she didn't deserve this recognition. He is known for bitching during award shows, so he was the perfect candidate to make it all seem unexpected.
All right, well, when did the humiliation ritual start? Who's in charge? Who's running it? How did it develop? What did it come from?
Beyonce.
Like,
I don't know.
Was Kurt Russell, did he have to go through a humiliation ritual? He was huge in the 80s.
100 times more believable. It was just orchestrated for a publicity stunt to get attention to everyone on stage.
I think it is literally just marketing, because they know if they put something out here, there's going to be a whole bunch of morons on Twitter who go, oh my God, it's the Illuminati conspiracy ritual thing. And then they're going to have even more press, because it's that group of people is going to have the opposite group of people firing back. And then everyone in the middle is surrounded by these two groups of idiots who are both saying the wrong thing because they can't think. Because these are the two people, these are the groups of people, you know, the meme where it's like the IQ graph, and in the middle you have the midwit who thinks he's really smart, and then on the right you have the person who gets it, who agrees with this person. Everyone who gets upset about these things is on the left side of the graph.
Well,
it could be both, honestly. It could be both sides.
Well, I think the problem there is that you get people who are like, you know, thinking too deeply about it.
Yeah, 100%.
Kanye was also right. Few people talk about this, but Kanye was right. Beyonce did have the better music video. So.
What? But this has happened, like, there's snubs every year. There's always snubs.
Yeah. That aside,
How long did it take Leonardo DiCaprio? How long did it take that man to win an Oscar?
I mean, it became a joke because of that.
It did, but that's the thing is, what was his humiliation ritual? What was Brad Pitt's? What was Justin Timberlake's? That's why I get frustrated with this.
The conspiracy theory about celebrities or politicians showing up in public with black eyes and bruises on their bodies?
I've heard that was just a look nowadays.
Particularly,
honestly,
you know.
I've heard that this is like a new
they've pointed out, like,
look.
The Pope, Obama, all of these different, like, politicians, public figures showing up with bruised faces. And they believe that this has something to do with an initiation ritual
for the Pope,
some kind of occult elite society.
For the Pope,
even the Pope, yes. And I was reminded of this because people were looking at this new video of Gordon Ramsay. He shows this massive bruise on him because he got into some kind of accident.
This is crazy. This reminds me of Brett Favre like 10 years ago.
Yeah, people were saying that this is suspicious. It's not. Let's look at the video. He's like shaking, by the way. He's trembling.
Message with you all. You know how much I love cycling and triathlons and Ironman, etc. This week, unfortunately, I had a really bad accident, and it really shook me. And honestly, I'm lucky to be here. Now, from those incredible trauma surgeons, doctors, nurses in the hospital that looked after me this week, they were amazing. But honestly, you've got to wear a helmet. I don't care how short the journey is. I don't care, the fact that these helmets cost money, but they're crucial. Even with the kids, a short journey, they've got to wear a helmet. Now, I'm lucky to be standing here. I'm in pain. It's been a brutal week.
He shows this bruise is crazy. Yeah. Look at that. His entire side is just
wearing a helmet. This weekend is massive. It's Father's Day.
Is he reading a script?
No, I don't know. But after that video came out, a lot of people were saying this seems strange, like doesn't look real.
Fat people who have never played a sport in their lives.
Something is being staged here. Someone said no injuries, scrapes to hands or arms. Kind of weird for a bicycle accident. His energy seems really nervous with all of the hand stuff going on.
I think he didn't want to make this video, and they're like, dude, if you want time off, you need to make some kind of video. I think that's maybe why it seems off-putting. I will say though, you know, I've seen celebrities do this before, but it's just a selfie in a hospital bed. He did seem to do more for someone who needed surgeons. He said he needed surgeons and like trauma care. So did he like break ribs? Like how bad was his accident? And why is he standing here in a kitchen, seemingly a set?
Well, the conspiratorial take is that something happened to him that was planned. And now he's part of the, I guess what they call the Black Eye Club. The conspiracy is that it like originated in 2018. The Black Eye Club is the rumor that a black left eye on celebrities is part of an initiation ritual into the Illuminati. And
right, because that's a real thing today. That definitely exists and, you know, has been proven. Right. Good job, guys.
Yeah. But, you know, the fact checkers say that black eyes are not signals of Illuminati membership, so we have nothing to worry about.
Well, I can tell you that at no point did the Bavarian Illuminati have a black eye ritual, and since that's who this is supposed to be, you would think it would.
You are the person I would ask about this.
Yeah, no.
Wait, Brett didn't make you.
What?
See, I was told that I needed to get punched before coming on this show. You didn't have to.
But I didn't have the heart to do it.
Yeah, that's why Brett did.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Black Eye Club's not real. Nope.
I just like. What? A few celebrities showed up with bruises across a period of a few years.
Well, this relates back to what we were talking about yesterday with the Illuminati conspiracy theories origins.
Who was it that was it Ben Affleck that like laid behind the car, wouldn't let his who was it? It was an actor, famous.
I feel like I would know if Ben Affleck did that, but
maybe it wasn't Affleck. But one of these like A-list actors like laid behind the car and wouldn't let his like wife leave or girlfriend, the mother of his children. I can't remember who it was.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm like, okay, so this stuff happened. So what if she's like, no, you're crazy. I'm not staying here, and back, you know, and drove away.
You think that happened to Gordon Ramsay?
I'm just saying, like, we have no idea.
Though it looks like he got hit by a car. It's not that complicated, but you know, people, especially on X lately, they want to post these videos and be like, what do you notice about this? Is there anything amiss? And you can make a lot of conjecture out of nothing. And I definitely am one to entertain conspiracy theories. This is just not one.
This one's lazy.
That I believe.
It's lazy. It's cheap. Our conspiracy about Taylor Swift and the Satanists.
That
was
that
one was great.
And what we did with that is the way people should look at these things when something comes across your Twitter feed. Because I know people in the chat are probably like, oh, this guy believes anything he sees and anything. It's all, no, I look at this for a living. And what you need to do when something comes across your Twitter feed is you need to just start asking questions. Don't just believe it. Don't go, oh yeah, interesting. If you're gonna push it, you know, all right. So let's say it's the Black Eye Club. Okay, what's the next step back? Who's in charge? Who's in control? Who's leading
actually, is my job.
Yeah, it is my job. It's my job, and it pays well.
Love that for you.
But no, what I'm saying here, what we were doing yesterday was I was sitting there, and as we're all talking about it, I'm like, all right, well, yeah, they look vaguely similar, and they were, you know. She was born in the same year that we know Xena was pregnant. All right, let's go back and look through it. And I was like, okay, what about facial structure, hair color, heights of their parents, ages, like all of those things, and looking at each detail and seeing if there is a connection. Because what you find with a lot of conspiracy theories is the people who are putting them out there, they will, you know, the Charlie Day meme from Always Sunny, they'll do that. And if you take all of those things and you start to ask them how they're connected, they'll be like, oh, well, you know, this guy had a black eye and this guy had a black eye and they're all celebrities. So, and you're like, no. Do they even know the same people? Do they work together? Do they have the same management agency? Is there any actual connection between these two people other than the fact that they're both celebrities and they both had black eyes at some point in the last 10 years?
The one thing I will say, and this isn't even a conspiracy, it's that there is a concerted effort in Hollywood to feminize the men and, you know, cross-dressing, putting makeup on men, all of that. It's not just trendy. It definitely seems like there's a concerted effort for that and to masculinize women. I see it all the time.
It's the same,
but that doesn't mean that there's some kind of controlled plot to do so.
Money. It's just money.
I don't think it's just money.
Marketing.
I do think it has to do with values.
It's why all the companies put up their Pride Month logos. It's why every, like, Marc Jacobs is now advertising feminine clothes for men.
Okay, it's also because they believe in it. And I do believe that. It is because they are true believers in, you know, that social cause. It's not just because it makes money. But, you know, I understand it's stupid to believe everything you see online. And with that being said, We're almost at a first crisis party.
Nice.
Let's go, guys.
Get us to the first crisis party, please. And then we're going to read some super chats before we get into the last topic. Shane H. Wilder said, has this girl never been disciplined? Both parents have failed. I would have been grounded for 6 months if I was lucky. This is about the cringe, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, the crazy girl doing cartwheels.
Honestly, I think it was staged. But maybe
I have seen some really bad behaved kids even that age. That
Even
was
at
one of
15.
That was definitely one of the worst, but no, I've seen 13 and 14-year-old boys and girls do stuff like that, and you're just like, what is wrong with your parents? And usually the parents, you look at them and you're like, okay, I'm not surprised.
What's your take on parents who put their kids on leashes in public?
Bro,
like at the
if
mall?
your kid is so poorly behaved that it needs that your kid needs a leash.
You're pro leash.
Like a little toddler, like little backpacks?
Whatever it like.
Yeah, why not? If toddlers like to run around.
If you have so little control over your child that your child needs a leash, you have failed.
Dude,
as a
I've
parent.
only seen that on like 2-year-olds.
You know who I never saw have
It's
a
like a
leash?
little backpack.
Children until like 10 years ago.
It's like a little backpack.
Helmets too.
Well,
Dude,
yeah, and you know what? You know what else happened?
When we were kids, if you found out that a classmate of yours was a leash kid when they were little, it would have followed them around forever.
I disagree.
They would have been bullied so hard.
You're talking about babies. You're talking about 2-year-olds. And you know what else has significantly decreased? Children dying from getting hit by cars.
Yeah, and now we have weaker children. God, Kellen.
Well, Kellen is also the person in the room who thinks that, we should raise the voting age, the drinking age.
I agree.
Yes, all of these things.
Dude,
It's a very hot take.
But that's just
we're not able to. We're not successfully.
Do you want to defend it?
So we're not successfully saving these children from not being infantilized. So let's adjust society.
So let's infantilize them more.
We're living longer, so it makes sense that we're children for longer.
I shouldn't be punished for this.
You're fine. You're already aged out.
Now I am, but then if I'm a good parent, my children shouldn't be
It'll be
punished
their
for this.
reality. They're not going to know anything different.
But I will.
Okay, but they shouldn't be raised.
Go ahead, Phil. I know
that
Phil's got
way.
some opinions here.
He's got the opinion face on.
I mean, raising any kind of age for full agency, while at the same time making a demand about service to the country that could cost you your life.
Oh, raise that too. Yeah.
Well, you're not going to. That's a problem as well. You can't treat adults like children. And kids are when you've got 20, 21, 22-year-olds, they're young, but they're not kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. I don't care. The only reason they behave like kids is because society allows it.
Sure.
It's not because of what they're cognitively capable of doing, or whether they're able of controlling themselves or making smart decisions. While they might make more rash decisions at a younger age than an older age, that doesn't go away until you're in your 30s. And I think that it's a terrible idea for society to treat children like they're children until they're 30 years old. So I think it's a bad idea to try to raise the age. And I also think that it's unrealistic.
Well, so we're like, I don't want to get too into the weeds with this debate. I feel like we could save it for another time. I will say that we're kind of in limbo right now because legally speaking, we're treating them like adults, but socially speaking, we're treating them like children, right? And we're in this weird limbo that we need to use the bathroom or leave it, right? And so that's what I'm saying. Society is
So you're saying
not
the laws should change to accommodate how childish all of these adults are acting?
To hopefully influence societal change, yes. I think we have to use the tools in our toolbox.
I can't get on board with that.
We'll talk about it. This is a deeper conversation.
Yeah, whatever.
It's an out there idea. I acknowledge that.
Right.
Parents need to be better at parenting.
Preston Waterbury said, I need a triple vocal collab between Phil M. Selmo, I hope I said that right,
Phil
and Phil
Anselmo?
Bozeman. We'll call it Fill It Up.
Ooh.
Thank you.
First of all,
there it is.
Any recording that has me and Salmo and Bozeman on is going to be nasty. All right, that is going to be sick.
And you should do it in Philadelphia.
The Philharmonic.
With the Philharmonic.
Orchestra.
Okay, we can stop talking about that. Jesus Christ, the worst pun.
Sorry, are we filibustering too much?
Yeah, I'm dying. I'm literally dying today.
That was tough.
Awesome.
Shane H. Wilder said, Kim is having people play with her kid like these people are Richard Pryor in The Toy. It is weird and doesn't need to be content. I've never seen that, but I mean, I think that what she's doing is she's trying to train the next Kim Kardashian, which is scary.
Yeah.
He also said this hypersexualization of these girls is sick. No child should know what Girls Gone Wild is. The adults straight to jail. They made a joke about that in Mean Girls. Regina's little sister watching Girls Gone Wild at the TV unsupervised while her mom is trying to be like one of the girls.
Well, that's the other thing.
And that's literally Kim's family.
Going back on like me talking about raising the ages and all the stuff that we've talked about today is that parents are not allowed, like our economy, our way of living, the American life right now does not make it easy for parents to be around their children. No, they have to work. They have to pass the baby off to someone who's not family, right? It's not an easy task nowadays. So I will acknowledge that we have a lot of work to do, you know, as a country, as a society.
Uncle Yosaivan said, understood. Thank you, sir.
Cheers.
To Phil. You're going to get that request soon then. Andrew, you said, are you observing Juneteenth tomorrow?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to look at a calendar.
I wasn't aware that it was Juneteenth tomorrow, but thank you for letting us know.
I don't know why they don't just call it, like, that seems so lazy. It's like, yes, they went through all the work to make it a federal holiday, and then they're just...
Well, I think that's the original, that's what the freed slaves called it.
June 19th?
Juneteenth, yeah.
I guess.
I never
so I think it's been a holiday. It's been a holiday particularly for Southern black people for a long time, and they referred to it as Juneteenth. I'm not sure. I think part of the reason might be because like it made its like the Union Army got to Texas and was making its way through freeing slaves, and they got to the last ones on the 19th. So I think all throughout June you've got slaves being freed.
And I think you said earlier, like, history for most people is not something they spend time reading.
Exactly.
And so it's like, if you really want people to respect this holiday, you're doing a terrible job of marketing it.
They are.
You know why? You know why July 4th is awesome? Because it's Independence Day and you've got fireworks.
They said that
America,
only black
the
people should
fair.
get the day off after it's a federal holiday, and
that's
white people
and they
should
shouldn't be saying that. If they want, like, if people want to respect this holiday, it's for all Americans.
I think it should. I think that Juneteenth. I genuinely think that Juneteenth should be a federal holiday, off of work, like all that, because it's not just a great moment for black people. It is a crowning achievement of the Union that we annihilated slavery in this country.
Yeah.
That is a crowning achievement, and as a Pennsylvanian, I am proud of my ancestors.
But that's not the reason it became a federal holiday.
Not
I mean, I
recently,
think that
but
just shows everyone will take the excuse for a day off. It doesn't matter
the history is beautiful. The reason that it's a holiday is it's virtue signaling.
All right, maybe
I'll do a stream about it tomorrow.
I don't think that we're gonna have time to talk about the AI cryptid today, which makes me sad. But I did want to end the show on a high note. This is either going to teach you queer history or make you a raging homophobe. I'm not sure which. So there's this TikTok star who is getting heavily pushed in the media right now. His name is Harry Daniels, and his shtick is that he goes up to celebrities, politicians, what have you, and he serenades them in an incredibly awful, off-key way. He covers songs, and most recently his most recent victim was Biden. I feel
the Obama one's funnier.
I feel
the Obama
so
one's funnier.
bad for Biden in this moment. Like, he just is on another planet. He doesn't know what's going on. He's okay. So Harry Daniels, this is him singing Lana Del Rey's national anthem to President Joe Biden.
He's also singing songs that we don't know.
I know this song. You don't know this song?
Please tell me I'm your national anthem. Red, white, blue is in the sky, summer's in the air, baby, heaven's in your eyes. I'm your national anthem. What did you think?
A narrator chimes in, that was the moment Biden's brain broke.
It was broke long before that video was recorded. But yeah, that's Harry's thing. He goes up to these people and serenades them. And he also did this to Barack Obama as well.
President Obama, can I sing for you? Go ahead. We are the new America. High on legal marijuana. Raise on Biggie and Nirvana. We are the new Americana.
Oh, don't lie. Roast
Why
Obama.
is everyone clapping?
It's so funny. It's so funny.
A softball.
Just
hit it out of the park.
Just watch Obama's face for the first 5 seconds as he's like, "Oh, okay, oh."
The instant regret on Obama's face.
It's the classic Obama WTF.
No, it's the meme. It's the meme of the girl going like this.
But the point is, you're not supposed to think that his singing is great. It's supposed to stick in your mind because it's cringy. However,
I think he sounds exactly like Halsey when she's live.
True.
Just precisely what Halsey sounds like when she sings live.
Katy Perry was on top of the world. She went on the Today Show, and it was just a train wreck because there was no auto-tune or anything.
Well, Lana Del Rey had a moment like that. She was on, I think she was on like Jimmy Fallon or something. It was really early on. This was her first impression on the world, and it was like the worst she ever did.
Sometimes I do wonder if the comedy shows maybe do F with them a little bit.
You think?
Like, I wouldn't be shocked, but no. I mean, I think the problem is that pop stars, they often have a backing track. They often have, sometimes they do even have like live auto-tune going.
I will say there's something to that because if I was like in Phil's position, there would definitely be moments where I just screw with people just to troll them. Like I would purposefully like screw up a song or something would happen on stage because I think it's funny and it's for my own entertainment. And everyone would be like, "Oh my God, that performance was a disaster." But it's just like, no, it's on purpose.
But these videos are supposed to look organic. And at first it was. He would just go wherever he thought a celebrity was going to be at the time and jump scare them with these serenades. But then pop stars started realizing, I'm going to use this guy to promote my new album because he's going to sing my song to me. And I'm going to pretend that I'm shocked and appalled.
Has anyone ever come up to you and like tried singing or pitching their music or anything like that?
Constantly.
Really?
Wait, really?
How do you react?
I won't listen to anyone's music.
Oh, that happened at the... You remember that happened recently?
Yeah.
Wait, but somebody has come up to you and like tried to cover your song in front of you?
No, people come up and sometimes they'll come up and they'll like repeat lyrics or whatever, and it's kind of cringy, or like make they'll sing or whatever, and it's a little cringy. But people frequently are like, "Listen to my band," or "Will you check my music out?" And no, I will not.
And you say no.
I specifically say no, and the reason is because if I don't like, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I don't, and I'm not gonna put your record out. Like I don't do that.
Yeah.
So you're not coming to me to give me anything other or to get anything out of me other than get my like approval. And I'm not gonna lie to you, and I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to tell you that your stuff is great if it's not great. I don't want to, because honestly, I think that you have to have honest people to give you feedback. If you've got people that are always like, just like, hey man, that's great, you're gonna end up putting out garbage, and you're gonna get it's not good. People need to know. People need to have some kind of reasonable, honest response. So I don't want to give it to them.
So someone in the chat said they want to serenade you.
I don't care.
What's the proper way? Like, if in Phil's perfect world, how should a fan come up and if they want to meet you?
I don't do that.
Not sell your music. Not sell them your music. Just meet you. Just say, hey, hi, I'm Brandon. Nice to meet you, or something.
Hi, I'm Let's Go Brandon.
By a meet and greet.
That's what they're there for.
Yeah, that's true.
Or you could ambush them.
Because, think about it. Like, really? Otherwise, that's just effing weird.
Well, I mean, this seems like this one was planned. He went to Charlie Puth's house to serenade him.
Yeah, I think
he sang that line from the Taylor Swift album. This one was really bad. He literally is going up to his house.
My TikTok money ran out, so now I'm on DoorDash. You smoked and ate 7 bars of chocolate. We declare Charlie Puth should be a bigger artist. You fell asleep and I scratched your hair like a golden whatever it is. Thank you. I brought those for you in case you got hungry.
He didn't even commit to the bit. He didn't even memorize the lyrics for that one.
I wouldn't be shocked if their managers don't tell them.
I don't believe any of this stuff anymore. This seems like all rage bait content.
That was the same face that I would have made if my management did something like that and scheduled somebody to come ambush me.
Also, I asked you earlier if you had watched Victorious.
Yeah.
He went up to one of the Victorious stars.
This is the one I have seen, and I didn't know. Like, I quickly clicked off the video because I'm like, what is this?
But yeah, this is the first one I saw as well. But he's like singing show tunes to her.
Chicago.
She like spit her trick out.
City, that's exciting. It's a city for a woman just like me. Does it like they call it Michigan? I think I'm really fitting in. The city is my perfect cup of tea. Okay, period.
Okay. It was actually a perfect impression of the...
Oh my God, it's so nice to meet you.
True, because she was supposed to be bad at singing.
Yeah, that was a perfect impression of what she did on the show. That was incredible.
So this is like... I could understand going up to women and doing this because they'll lie to you. They won't be like, ugh. Men will
Well,
we've
no,
seen
he went up to Billie Eilish and she was like, she literally ran away from him. Like she did not want to be part of his TikTok content.
It seems to me like maybe he was doing this organically at first because that's what I was reading in the article, but he's got to be connected somewhere. And for me, the fact that that's not like, you know, known, that he's not open about it, I don't like that part. I think it's kind of funny what he's doing, but I just, you know, I think you should be open about what's going on.
Well,
he definitely has management.
Yeah.
Like
definitely. I think that this Rolling Stone article, Can Harry Daniels Sing For You, was most definitely commissioned by his talent agency because he has now been signed to UTA talent agency. After making TikToks badly singing to a bunch of celebrities. How is this possible?
Of someone not knowing their lane. Are you a comedian or are you a performer? Which I know comedians are performers when they do stand-up. But like, are you trying to be ridiculous and sing in front of presidents really badly? Or are you trying to be
the worst
signed
part
to an agency?
Yeah, the worst part about this is you hate when someone switches lanes in a place they don't belong. And it's fine if you're just a TikToker who trolls people and you go viral. That's fine.
I like it.
But what he's trying to do now is use this as a springboard for his upcoming career as a serious musician, and he's using this to promote himself.
Yeah.
And they even gave him like a preeminent album review on this article. But they interviewed him. He's saying, I grew up on Stan Twitter, and I've been obsessed with celebrities for my entire childhood. And I'm like, oh, that's why you're like
weird.
this.
That's
like,
strange.
That explains a lot.
This is the first glimpse into the children that were raised entirely with social media being available.
Yes.
I was already pretty much who I am when social media became a thing.
Yeah.
I'm lucky. These kids, I'm so worried. And this is the taste of what's coming.
They said Harry Daniels has always had main character energy. His sister and manager remembers how as a toddler he would put on mini concerts in the living room for his parents and sisters to watch and clap for him. They said he's born for this. He's born to be a star. And in this interview, he compared himself to Britney Spears and Madonna. He thinks he's going to be the next Britney Spears.
Who's the guy that goes around New York and yells at people trivia questions?
I'm not sure.
He's like, for $1.
There are a lot of street interviewers that do that, though.
But the guy that got his own I can't remember his name. Maybe chat knows. But this is who he reminds me of. Like, you confront people. You're loud. You're abrasive. Like, I think that's his angle. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't think you're the next Harry Styles. Or who'd you say that he wants to be?
Madonna.
He wants to be the next Madonna.
Well, and the thing is, it's hard to tell.
You've got two first names, man.
It's hard to tell from the video, like, if he can sing. Because he seems to have enough control over his voice that, like,
he's good at pretending to be bad at singing.
So that's the question is does he just have a weird half measure of being good at singing? Like, what do you think, Phil?
He can probably sing.
That's kind of where I'm leaning. It's like he probably can.
A lot of people are mad at him because they think he's trying to make a fool out of all of these celebrities.
No, they're making money off of it too.
I think all of these talent agencies just realize we can make money off of this guy by getting him to promote people who actually are talented. That doesn't mean that he has talent. And a lot of people also thought that he was a journalist when they saw his videos, and that this is his
interesting. So
his way of doing red carpet interviews and stuff.
It's like neo advertising.
Someone said, "Oh, this is the state of journalism," and he said, "I'm not an effing journalist. I will never be a journalist. I never wanted to be a journalist." So that's good.
Yeah,
that's a good sign. He knows what his lane is, and unfortunately, he's trying to veer off into this other direction. He wants people to take him seriously. But you're right. Like, seeing someone raised by stan Twitter culture going out into the real world and trying to be human is painful.
And it's like you said earlier, and I know it was like half a joke, was like we need to bring bullies back. And it's not that, but people need to not hide their true feelings, right? This is an off-putting thing to have happen to you in public. And you need to be honest about it. Don't pretend that you're head over heels for some stranger.
The celebrities are afraid of being canceled. They're afraid of being. They're being recorded. They see that they're being recorded, and if they're rude to this person, they're gonna get an avalanche of people like, "You're mean to your fans and supporters. How dare you?" And meanwhile, Phil is just like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna listen to you."
And people need to have Phil. Like, it was a genuine question when I was asking him about that. But people need to have like I'm just digesting it mentally, and people need to have that opinion and just be honest and authentic. Like there's one thing that Joe Rogan has said that stuck with me is like anytime that happens to him, he doesn't give them anything. He just looks at them with a blank face, like straight face, whether it's someone that's angry at him and road raging, or if it's someone that's like a super fan, he's just like, just blank stare at them. It's going to make them uncomfortable, usually makes them go away. And it sticks with me because it's like, it's very, very effective.
It is.
I also wanted to show you guys the Battle of the Ages, this viral video from when Harry Daniels was 13 years old. I wanted to show this because it's really a study in like the psychology of people who are on Stan Twitter talking smack, and this is what it looks like in real life.
Fighting with a 13-year-old. You're pathetic.
Oh, I've seen this.
Yeah, this is Harry.
You're still ignoring the points. What's the point? I'm 13. And you're okay.
So this is how he went viral?
Initially, yeah.
Oh my God, you got me there. You got me there, Ronnie. Right there. You got me there.
This is a real life Stan Twitter argument.
This is you. No, he got me, guys. Guys, he got me. I'm done. Oh my God.
Al immediately pulls out the phone.
Someone said, I've never learned so much about gay culture in less than 40 seconds. And another one said, this is the reason homophobia exists.
Is it even offensive to say that's the gayest video I've ever seen?
It literally is. I think it might be the gayest video on the internet. Like even gayer than gay porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because most of the guys doing gay porn aren't gay.
I don't even care about that.
Because you think
it's
most
just,
of these
it's not a real argument. They're not really, like, it's all placating. They're all recording. It's all a spectacle. None of it's real.
Most of the stands, you know, try to get into beefs with people online and they don't back it up in real life. And that's what it looks like when you try to talk like that
We
in
had
real
a
life.
$20 come in.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, Gordon Shumway said, so is this the guy is going to be the next Britney Spears? Does this mean in a few years he'll shave his head, then make inappropriate cringe Instagram reels? Can we just stop him now? Where is Simon Cowell to tell him he sucks? Shaking my damn head. That's a good question.
I really liked
is somebody going to tell him that, you know, maybe this isn't the right career path?
You know, in Britney's defense, when Shane H. Wilder made that video for us, is Britney Spears doing the knife dances as background dancers. I was like, okay, I could get behind that if this is some weird.
Britney Spears has
backup
earned the right to
dancer.
be weird.
Yeah.
She has earned her stripes.
And
Okay.
she's also not bothering anyone. You don't have to go and look at her videos.
She's literally just vibing in her house. I can't be mad.
It's weird, but
Like, I don't know
can
if
be
she's
weird.
okay, but my point is, you know, she had a real career before that. She has talent, and she has earned the right to be weird in her house.
She's another one that did the weird
And show her-
the high pitched voice.
She also, yeah, she had a baby voice.
Okay,
but like,
was that just her real voice? Because I've never
No.
seen her talking in another voice.
no, if you look at like videos of her from her childhood when she was singing, she had a very strong, like belting voice.
Weird. Maybe it was just the style.
But they just decided it would be more marketable for her to fake that like sexy baby
I'm a
thing.
fan of the vocal fry. Like Miley
Yeah.
Cyrus has an amazing voice.
She really
speaking
does.
and singing.
Miley Cyrus is an incredible singer.
And so it's like if vocal fry gets like frowned upon, it shouldn't, because I mean I don't know how you get like there's like Steve-O who like destroyed his body
Yeah.
and that's why he sounds like that. But if that's your natural voice, just like DDG with the low voice, right? Use your God-given talent.
Dude, it took me years to be able to do that. Like just the fry stuff.
Really?
Do while singing. Yeah, it's hard.
Well,
Like,
it can hurt your voice if
it
you're
can't,
not
yeah, if you're
careful.
doing it, because that's the thing is as you're trying to learn where to put it in your throat. I'm sure you went through this too. Like it hurts.
Well, I mean, not if
you're doing it right, it doesn't. But finding that spot, I don't know. Maybe it came naturally to you.
You take care of your like you do the bottle. I don't know what you call that. The little
I
water
do a lot
bottle
of
that you
exercises.
have. Yeah. So you know you take care of it.
Did you like how did that happen for you? Was it just something that was natural, or like did you have to work at it a lot?
I started screaming.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
You just started screaming.
Started screaming.
That is what everybody tells me.
You can do it the wrong way.
Everybody I know, that's literally the things they're like, I started screaming and I figured out where it didn't hurt.
Well, you shouldn't feel any pain.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to introduce you guys to Harry Daniels because I've been seeing more and more about this guy and it seems like a total psyop.
I appreciate it, but I'm not gonna say thank you.
Yeah, well, you're welcome anyways, Kellen. We're gonna finish off reading these super chats. Shane H. Wilder said the cutesy voice is off-putting. It's not just you, Mary. It's uncomfortable when any woman does it. Not a fan. Thanks, I hate it. Well, except for Paris Hilton, right? Like, she's the exception to that rule. Fifi Gigantor said, Phil looks bored AF and subscriber-only chat sucks. Well, the chat has always been subscriber only.
And
That's
Phil
not
drove
anything.
like 6 hours yesterday.
Yeah, Phil's recovering right now.
It's also hot. Like
it is
like
toasty in here right
95.
now.
It's in here, and
We have
also
the
like
AC
we have like
on.
well, I mean, we have a heat wave going on.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
it's a sucky time to be moving about.
Hey, be respectful. The British are going through it right now. They have
Oh
an
my
80-degree heat wave.
Not even 80.
It
But
is-
it's like
It is
just,
almost
we're like,
as hot in my
okay,
apartment.
just get AC, and they're like, no, like,
But then I need an AC license.
well, they do. I think
call
it's
it
illegal
aircon.
to put central heating and air conditioning in their homes because they're all old buildings. But I'm like, okay, put it in your window, and they're like, I don't know. I think they just want to complain.
No, there is a valid defense where they have brick buildings that become like they just do not circulate air like they do out here. So 80 degrees, it gets warm and toasty. So open your windows, get a fan, or go for a walk.
Yeah.
There's ways to mitigate this.
Shane H. Wilder said the only Kurt Russell humiliation ritual is Christmas Chronicles 2. Why, Kurt? Kellen will never be a true PCC host until Mary hits him with a broom. Well, I wasn't planning
I
to,
don't even
but if you
see a
guys really
broom.
want that,
I'd pay for it.
Like-
I'd pay to watch that content.
yeah. But we're gonna need a second
I
crisis
said
party
dunk
for
tank.
that to happen.
Dunk tank. Okay, if we set up a dunk tank on PCC, I'll let you hit me with a broom.
We're more than halfway to the second crisis
'Cause
party,
I think
by the way,
that'd be
guys.
fun.
If we get to
You
2,
can get us there.
I will hit Kellen with a broom in Minecraft. Shane H. Wilder said, for the crisis party, let's effing go. I hope that was long enough.
Woo.
Coach sipping Jamba Juice out of a straw said, I remember in elementary school, there were parents that gave my teacher a leash to restrain their child. That is so not the teacher's job.
Yeah.
Why do people assume that like school teachers should be raising their children? And then they get mad when the teachers discipline the
Because they
children.
want, I mean, it is an unrealistic, it shouldn't be the expectation, but it is. But it's also, like I said earlier,
Insane.
both parents need to work. Both parents want to provide a roof over the head of their children, food on the table, and they both need to work to do this. And they know someone needs to raise the children.
Which is
So
why the drinking age should be 25.
you heard it there.
Wait, you legit think it should be 25?
No. We'll talk about it later.
Bro, I think like 16 in your own home with your parental supervision.
That's already allowed.
Yeah, like no,
it's already allowed
That's
for
already
religious
legal,
reasons.
isn't it?
Yes.
There's for religious reasons.
Doesn't matter,
Like,
though.
No, I think the problem with that is that kids like aren't for the most part allowed to drink at all
It's not
until they're
just
21.
drinking.
So they're like, oh yeah, I'm
It's
just gonna
not
go
just
drink where I
drinking.
can.
You're letting the public school teachers are getting kids at the most impressionable age at like 5 years old when that should
Well,
not be the case.
parents are treating
So
the
either
school
you
like
need
it's a daycare.
You either need to fix the American life where one
Yeah.
parent can stay at home, or you need to adjust.
You should run for
everything else.
president.
No.
Okay. Uncle Yosaivan said, for the crisis. Thank you. Shane
Thank
H.
you.
Wilder said, don't watch The Toy Mary. It's the one Richard Pryor movie I don't like. A rich dude buys a black man to be a toy for the son. It was weird. That sounds weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. DCNC said, my name is Mary and I hate Brett. Now they're going to clip me. I didn't think about that ahead of time. Sorry.
Got him.
It's not true, Brett. The Chronicles of Mexico said Bohemian Grove is a thing. It used to be a conspiracy. How does that materialize naturally? What do they do with this network of people? We were talking about that briefly
Bohemian
yesterday.
Grove started in like the late 1870s, I think, and it was founded as a small social club that met in a bar, and it was where young journalists would go and meet to hang out and talk about things that weren't current events and just have a few drinks. And then eventually they needed money to be able to do anything that they really wanted to do. So they started letting people who weren't journalists and writers in.
Mm-hmm.
And those people were funding everything, which meant that they wanted to be the people who were in charge of everything. So the journalists and writers kind of became an afterthought, and it became something where they would go into the redwoods for a couple weeks every summer and just kind of do debauchery for a couple of, basically all these uptight conservative dudes who were just going to go hang out in the woods and play summer camp for a couple of weeks. I'm not saying it's not weird. Like, what they do up there is weird, and it's not a child effigy, just to be clear. Like, if you actually look at the measurements on it, it looks to be like a normal-sized human being. Point of the matter is, it can develop completely naturally and still be weird.
Yeah.
But, like,
Do you know much
gotta
about,
trace
like,
it back. You gotta do the work.
Skull
You gotta
and
go.
Bones?
Skull and Bones is hard. because it's so specific. I believe it's mostly like it might just be Yale, but I think it's mostly just the Ivy Leagues, or at least that's how it started, and then it spread a little bit. But yeah, it's a weird one because it really does seem like there's a lot of powerful people involved, and it did begin in the place where powerful people go to school. I'd be more concerned with Skull and Bones than I would be Bohemian Grove.
Okay. Potatoes for Seamus said, Kellen, why did you hide Serge in the attic again?
Well, no, I don't need to answer
Serge
that. You know why.
Behaving badly.
Yeah, you know why. Don't play.
Shane H. Wilder said it was the cringe lord Billy on the street, Kellen.
Yeah.
Billy
Eichner.
Oh, that guy who
That's who that reminds me of.
Yeah, there's that one video where he goes up to this woman and he's like, what did you think of La La Land? And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a whole show. He has a whole show dedicated to that stuff.
Yeah, and he just starts screaming at her as she's trying to cross the street and like I am not the one.
Yeah. Is this the guy, like the taller gay dude who just yells at people in New York?
I know he's gay.
Like 6'3".
I don't know if he's tall. Okay.
That wasn't me trying to be like an insult.
No,
that's the only that's all I can remember about him is that he's tall and gay.
Gay rom-com bros that totally
did not
tanked.
do well.
Yeah.
Well, didn't he tell straight people not to see it?
Yeah.
You got to remember that you're only like 5 to 10% of the population
at
most. You shouldn't really tell the other 90% to not come buy your product.
Right.
Just bad marketing.
Gordon Shumway said, so is, I already read that one. Ryan Brown said, Brett wears shirts like muumuus for skinny people. Therefore, someone should buy him a sun muumuu.
What is that?
That
brutal.
I don't know what that means.
You know what that means?
A muumuu, yeah.
I don't know what that
because
is.
Brett wears big, oversized shirts that are a little on the long side. They're calling them muumuus.
He also throws away his t-shirts after wearing them once. I just thought I would.
That's a flex.
Tell everyone.
Individual
because it's
time?
insane.
Yeah, no, I couldn't believe it when she told me.
Yeah, he says if he works out in a shirt, he'll just throw it away.
It's a flex, man. He's got Dasovic money.
He's hurting the environment.
Kids money is what he's got.
Willem said, for cringe, you all should check out Fallon last night talking about Father's Day and Trump. He is messed up in the head. Murica. What did he say?
I don't know. I'll check it out.
See us?
I don't mind Fallon, but I'll check it out.
I mind Fallon a lot.
Yeah.
Potatoes for Seamus said, if only there were 2 more guys on the show today. Okay, well, I mean, we are all caught up on Superchats right now, so it's time to wrap up, I think. But I want to remind you guys, again, if you have not subscribed, you should definitely change that today. And if you have not liked the video, I am mad at you. You should do that. And also share the show with your friends and your haters and your grandma, if you haven't done so. And Phil, let everyone know where they can find you.
I am Phil That Remains on Twix. I'm Phil That Remains Official on Instagram. The band is All That Remains. You can catch us this summer on the Destroy All Enemies tour with Megadeth and Mudvayne. Also, right now you can go to my Twix page, and the pinned tweet is our new single. The song is called Let You Go. It's available on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, Amazon Music, YouTube, Deezer, you know, the internet. Don't forget, Left Lane is for Crime.
And Aidan, let us know.
Yeah, my name is Aidan Mattis. I am the host and lead researcher over at the Lore Lodge, where every week we put out generally an hour-long documentary on something weird that happened. That's my job.
Unsolved mysteries.
Unsolved mysteries, conspiracy theories. If you think that I sound like I'm, trying to throw something, pretend something's not there, pretend something's not real, I promise you I looked really deeply into it, and you can go see the work.
A lot of people in the IRL chat recognized you, which I knew there was a lot of overlap between those audiences. Yeah.
But no,
Kellen,
I appreciate y'all.
Kellen, let us know where we can
Phil,
find
thank you for putting up with us Utes for 2 hours. I'll use this opportunity to also say go check out Phil's Twix page at Phil That Remains and check out his new song. Get it up there. Get up the views. And yeah, that's about it. We had one more super chat from Gordon that says, how can Brett throw away his t-shirts after one use when there's a genocide in Gaza?
I mean, seriously.
I tried telling him.
What?
And a femicide in the Congo.
Wait,
all of that.
In the Congo.
Yeah.
Huh?
I mean, this is an inside joke.
Okay.
I'll explain it later. You guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. And you can follow the show on social media. Our Instagram is Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Our Facebook is Pop Culture Crisis. And our X is Pop Culture_show. And we will be back for a brand new episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
See you guys. Bye.